1 year ago, the Winnipeg Jets couldn't win even 10 games. In mid-season, they went 30 games without a victory. What a disaster. Pucks filled the Winnipeg net, and even 400 of them, as the Jets struggled for every one of their 32 points. But general manager John Ferguson persevered.
In Winnipeg, really, there was no shortcut to building a hockey club. We have to go with our youth, and we have to go with our draft choices. And so far, our game plan has been producing for us, and we're mighty pleased right now in Winnipeg.
1 year later, what an improvement. 9 victories to 26. No other team ever turned things around so dramatically. 32 points to 65. Improvement everywhere in goals for and in goals against. 400 goals against was part of last year's nightmare, and Fergie's quick to credit the players who've made it all possible. Here's Dale Howardchuk, headed for hockey greatness, candidate for Rookie of the Year, 35 goals. Fergie made no mistake at all in drafting him. Unheralded Paul McLean, a steal in a deal with the St. Louis Blues. 26 goals so far this year. And out of retirement late in the season came the Senator, Serge Savard, the perfect tutor. He brings the Jets that winning spirit acquired with the Montreal Canadiens. And in goal, the S-men, Sotard and Stanowski. Both have been outstanding for Winnipeg, each with 13 victories. Sotard was NHL Player of the Week last week. And the man who's molded this team into a contender, Tom Watt. He could be Coach of the Year in the NHL, and this is his first season as the man in charge. So tonight, from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, we bring you a Norris Division battle between the Jets, who are winning plaudits, and the Leafs, who haven't been winning anything much of late. Hello again, I'm Brian McFarland, your host for tonight's hockey game, and the Leafs, like the Winnipeg Jets, are counting on kids to turn things around. It's going to take some time. The coach and general manager call for patience, but the fans find that quality in short supply. During tonight's telecast, we'll bring you goals from the Vancouver-Edmonton game on NHL Update. Perhaps this is the night that Gretzky breaks his slump. And in the gauntlet tonight, Bob Cole will handle the play-by-play coverage. He'll be joined by Bobby Hull, while Don Cherry, hockey's Bo Brummel, will be stationed in the coach's corner. Hockey Night in Canada on CBC returns in just a moment. The Leaf moves this week. Laurie Boschman traded to Edmonton for Walt Podubny, up from Wichita, getting his first big league chance. Payman went to Quebec for Miroslav Freecher, and he had 3 assists against Chicago on Wednesday night, showed some outstanding individual skills out there. Defenseman Jim Korn in the Detroit doghouse under coach Wayne Maxner moves in from Detroit for so-called future considerations. A couple of draft choice go to the Red Wings there. He's a big fella. He's been off skates a couple of weeks, but he fits in well, and we'll watch him tonight. Now let's go upstairs to Bob Cole.
Good evening, everyone. Bob Cole with Bobby Hull, and you're looking at the goaltenders tonight. Bunny LaRock gets the start for the Maple Leafs. And down at the other end, starting for the Winnipeg Jets, Ed Stanowski. You see his goals against average, and he has been one of the shining stars for the Winnipeg Jets this season. And what a season it has been. The referee tonight is Dave Newell in his 15th season as a referee in the National Hockey League. John D'Amico and Ron Finn are the 2 linesmen. That's Gavin, 17 for Toronto, with Podubny and Saganuk on the wings. The Winnipeg Jets, Steen, Lukowicz, and Lindstrom up front. They shoot it in, and they're offside. What a job this man has done, Bobby Hull, with the Winnipeg Jets.
Tommy Watt, I was talking to him today, and he is very, very confident with his Winnipeg club. But he told me about a statistic I think that we should note. In the last 3 years, Bob, they have made 57 coaching changes in the National Hockey League before this year.
That's not security. Babbage took a shot. LaRock makes his first stop of the hockey game. The Jets, Steen keeping it in. Into the corner, Lukowicz in battling for it. They bump a bit, Lindstrom back of the net. It's cleared by the Leafs. Gavin gets to center. Pulled around, it was cleared into the Winnipeg zone. Gavin went after it against Babbage. Lindstrom was bumped, sent flying. There's Babbage again, backhands it on this side. Benning keeping it in for Toronto. Gavin forechecking. The Jets now bring it out. This is Babbage. Dave Babbage across center, up over the line. Took a shot. A weak shot, and LaRock had to be careful with it. Nevertheless, into the corner. The Jets keep it in. Babbage parking out in front of the net. Now he comes in. There's Lindstrom getting a shot, and it's knocked out in front by LaRock. A very close call, and LaRock again had to cover up.
Good play made, Bob, out from behind the net. For a direct shot for Willie Lindstrom. He got 5 in Philadelphia here just a short time ago.
Mike Nicoluk, the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Down, but not out. Mathematically, the Leafs are still alive, but flickering a bit, Bobby.
I think they're a desperate hockey club, Bob, and they need this win awfully bad, and they need to win the rest of the year. What we're looking at here is a desperate Leaf team wanting to win for the rest of the season. Winnipeg wanting to ensure that second spot.
Christian, number 13 for Winnipeg, got the draw. Couldn't get a shot. It's grabbed away. And the Leafs, Jim Ford cleared it. Martin dropped it back. And now Winnipeg in control again. Deblois didn't get the pass. He was open on the right wing. Aubin brought it in for Toronto. And the Leafs are offside.
Young man, a Czech-born boy, like all Europeans, executes the basic fundamentals of the game very well. Skates very well, handles the puck very well. He's a streak scorer. I think he's got 4 hat tricks this year.
One of them against the Toronto Maple Leafs, his first game in Quebec City. Boom, boom, boom. He had 3 goals last season against Toronto. Now, in front, Christian nearly got a pass. The Jets skating inside the line, have it broken up, and Martin gets away. Here's Martin going in, and that long shot was off the net on the far side. But he had Stanowski moving near the short side of the net. Christian coming in, dropped a dandy pass. LaRock covered on the short side and blocked that shot. It rolls into the crease. Savard up the blue line, keeping it in. Savard played it in back of the net, and Korn was back covering up. Look out! It came out in front in the crease, and they nearly miscued. The Jets stay on it. Deblois hit the goal post, and LaRock was there to hang on. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Ludlow. That's came very, very close.
I don't know who that was that is mucking for the puck back there. The puck came right out in the goal crease. Salming, if he had mishandled it at all, could have knocked it in the net.
There is no score. Coming up to the 3-minute mark of the period. There's a shot scramble right on. And LaRock had to cover up with Paul McLean, who's scored 26 already this season. He was right in on top of him.
Well, it was Howardchuk who fired that low drive, and McLean standing right in front of LaRock. Tipped it, but LaRock held his ground. Howardchuk
is number 10. And what a dandy he is for the Winnipeg Jets. Won't be 19 for another week or so. What a future. Levy at center ice. Backhands it a little high. It went over the glass into the crowd. Celebrating 10 seasons in the National Hockey League, the Winnipeg Jets. And they've come a long way, Bobby. You were there.
I was there in '72. We went back for a reunion here this past season.
Should say in professional hockey, really. The city of Winnipeg. And this team taking right over. And here they come again. Lobbing it in. No penalty. The crowd thought maybe we might have our first penalty of the game. It comes in front again. LaRock going down that bag scramble. The backhand shot is just wide. Winnipeg applying pressure again. But Harris checked it out to the line. Tuberlego coming in with 5. There's Rick 5, the big shot. And he missed the net on this one. Howardchuk brings it right back to center for Winnipeg. Howardchuk comes in, faked the shot, had it knocked off his stick. Harris comes out on the left side to center. Harris took the pass from McGill and lobbed it in. And Savard has it for the Winnipeg Jets. The two teams change as Savard comes hitting the line to center. It's backhanded in by Lukowicz. The shot, LaRock looked a little shaky, Gloved it though, knocked it away. McGill tried to tie up his man. Podubny flipped it down the ice. Actually, it went by him all the way, and here's Gavin looking for it. Gavin goes back to the net. Gavin gets set. Cooley passes back, and a nice save by Stanowski. As Salming tried to knock it in. Podubny couldn't center it. Gavin went after it. Threw it in behind the goal in the corner. That's Hopkins. Lobbed it down the ice. This will be icing as it goes in behind the Leaf net. McGill is there. Icing is called. An NHL update now. Here's Brian McFarland.
Bob, we're going to take you to the Northlands Coliseum. We've had the first goal of the hockey game there. Vancouver playing the Oilers. Semenko goes into the corner, takes the puck off the boards, right over to Laurie Boschman, the former Leaf wearing number 14. He slips it in past Rick Hines. Oilers lead it 1-0 on Boschman's goal. Now let's get back to the action at Maple Leaf Gardens.
We've played 4 minutes and 6 seconds of the first period, and there's no score. Maple Leafs, long shot, Stanowski stopped it. Played by Smale off the boards to the line to center. Deblois is going in. Deblois gets set, takes his shot, and Larocque, I don't know, Bobby, he has looked a bit shaky. Managed to hang on to it, but barely.
Well, I think really it's a big game for Toronto, and I'm sure everyone's uptight. Coach McKay thought that if this man, Larocque, had a good game, they could conceivably win this hockey game, I should say.
Officially, Winnipeg is outshot Toronto 8-0 at this point. Here they come for number 9. That one was off the goal post and went just off to the corner. Winnipeg right with it. Another shot. This one by Smale was deflected off the net. There is no score in this first period. We're nearing the 5-minute mark. Cleared ahead by Christian. Knocked down by Deblois. The Leafs, McGill trying to bring it in for Toronto, and Savard took him out of the play. Savard's pass on the far side. The Jets just clear it in across the line. And the Leafs organize, coming out to center. Good move by Freacher. This is Freacher, dandy pass. Oh, man, Freacher on a play. No goal, though. Stanowski stood there, but the fans love that one. Howard Chuck right back in for Winnipeg. Another goal post. A backhander off the goal post. The Leafs break down again. Freacher. He has Martin in front. Here it is. Stanowski is sensational, breaking it up. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. There's no score, but the Jets have nailed the post 3 times.
That's McLean that hit that post on that backhander. Are they moving the puck around well from one end to the other? Then they went down the other end, and Freacher and Martin, Staniowski made a great play.
5, putting it right on. And Stanowski again covering the angle. The Leafs get back to break it up. Derlego just missed the pass. It slides down the ice. Babbage is back there. He has it. Here come the Jets again. Good movement to center, but the play too far for McLean. And the Leafs are circling. Derlego backed it up. Gets it again. Derlego coming in with Harris and 5. And the goaltender, Stanowski, was out to move it away. Howard Chuck down the ice. Hitting the line. Howard Chuck, beautiful! Scores! What a beautiful piece of work by this 18-year-old Dale Howard Chuck. Wow!
What a fantastic kid. Watch, he carries the puck down through center. He's got a teammate on the left, used him as a decoy, goes right between the defense, splits them, very calmly hoists the puck over top of Bunny Larocque. Watch it, here it is again. To the left, a fake, through the middle. What a shifty kid, what a great athlete.
Assist number 15, Paul McLean. And number 31, Ed Stanowski. Time 6 minutes even.
The 6-minute mark. Winnipeg leading 1-0, and what a beautiful effort by Dale Howard Chuck. Here's 5 trying to even it up. Oh, what a glove save by Stanowski. And 5, Bobby, he can really let him go.
He coasted in on the right and really ripped that one. Staniowski with that good glove save. Here's that shot again on Howard Chuck's goal from up above. See how he shifted to the left and then went right between the 2 defensemen. Now, 2 defensemen, one of them should have hollered, "I'll take it." on plays like that. As it happened, neither one of them got a piece of it.
Now Lindstrom for Winnipeg. Golfed it in. LaRock fired it up on the glass. 5, slow and moving it out. The Jets. A penalty coming up now. Lukowicz was upended. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
Any battery can start a new.
There's a shot of that penalty. There's Vive just reached out and grabbed Lukowicz, and the reason for the penalty, just Winnipeg moving so quickly in Toronto's end.
Now with a man advantage, Christian shot. Stick save by LaRock. Winnipeg on a power play and leading 1-0. Lukowicz didn't see it. Salming picks the opening and he clears it down the ice. We're coming up to the 7-minute mark of the opening period. The goal by Howard Chuck, 1-0 Winnipeg. Nearly a bad pass by the Jets inside their own line. But they get away with that one, and Christian comes to center. Christian going up over the line, left wing pass. Christian goes back at the net, looks for it, didn't get it. Babbage threw it into the side. Lukowicz cuts in front now to Christian. Slapped at it, loose puck. Howard Chuck has it now. Howard Chuck, who has scored the goal for Winnipeg, lobbed one in front. Gavin couldn't clear it, but now the Leafs get it out across the line, and Coring kills some time backing up with it. Salming sends it up on the open wing and down the ice. 1 minute left in the penalty. Direct 5. The Winnipeg Jets 1. Toronto Maple Leafs 0. Christian got the pass. Lobbed it in. Lukowicz on the move. Back in front of Howard Chuck, and his shot is knocked away. Cleared back to Babbage. He winds up. Lukowicz. Throw it in front. That's Lindstrom with it. Lindstrom waits. Takes his time. Finds somebody open in the corner. Howard Chuck left it for him. Got it back. Howard Chuck now moving it around. Gets it in front, but it hopped away from Lukowicz. Harris picks it up for Toronto and cleared it by Derlego down the ice. Right on the net. Stanowski stopping it. 20 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. 1-0 Winnipeg. And the Jets move it again on this power play. To center. Steen goes up over the line. He's going in with Lundholm. Back to the net. The Jets trying to pick it up. Steen was stopped. It comes out to the side, and the Leafs will clear it. 3 seconds left in the penalty. It's lobbed down the ice, and Stanowski, the goaltender, plays it. 5 is back on. 1-0 Winnipeg. Coming down Lindstrom. Got in over the line and threw it back to the net. Solving there first. The Maple Leafs, Martin to center. The pass stopped by Savard at the Winnipeg blue line. Coring through center. He fell. Aubin carries on. He's going in with Preacher, and his shot is stopped by Ed Stanowski. With a score, Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. All with Bobby Hull in the broadcast booth at Maple Leaf Gardens. The Winnipeg Jets lead the Leafs 1-0 as they near the halfway mark of this opening period. Howard Chuck, who has scored the goal, backhands it in for DeBlois. DeBlois into the corner, stopped back there by Benning. Martin lost it. Kept in by Dupont. Rolled it right in front. And the Jets come close again. DeBlois has it on the boards to the line where Savard turns. He'll get a shot now, and that's knocked back by LaRock. Savard again. Feeds it ahead. DeBlois had it go off the leg. Aubin fell. Savard reached up to make contact with a stick over his shoulder, and it's called. Another NHL update. Here again is Brian.
Bob, the Vancouver Canucks have tied it against the Oilers at the Northlands Coliseum. Lars Lindgren, the big defenseman for the Canucks, caught the Oilers backing in. And Gradin and Fraser assisted on the goal by Lindgren, his 5th of the year. There it is, a shot to the corner at 7:22. They're tied at 1. Let's get back to the action at Maple Leaf Gardens.
1-0 here, Winnipeg leading Toronto, and Salming goes behind the net. Salming, being bothered by Trimper, got it as far as the line. The Jets keep it in. That was DeBlois. LaRock out of the goal for Salming. Coming in front, the pass to the right side. Coming out, Preacher. Pass in behind him. It went over near the Winnipeg bench, and Salming has it again. Coming in with Preacher on the left side. Martin cannot catch up to it. Stanowski lost it. Aubin centered it. Nothing there but Jets, and they break out of the zone. Up to center, McLean going in with Hopkins. He dropped it back. Howard Chuck, look at that beautiful move. Another one. Hook it in front. He's a great little hockey player, Dale Howard Chuck. There he is in front of the net. The pass went behind him, though. Jets again. Howard Chuck from center. Backhands it in. Lane was bumped. In front, Howard Chuck as he was falling. Let it go. They score! Can't believe the moves of Dale Howard Chuck already in this hockey game. And the Jets lead 2-0.
Well, he's the reason again that goal was scored. Watch him here with the puck. Watch him here. He's being tripped. Still fires the puck real good. It hit the backboards. There's McLean. Went and got it while Bunny LaRocque was out of position. McLean came out in front and put it in. Here it is again. There's the kid with all the moves. Fires the puck behind the net. McLean just picks it up and comes out in front. I said when Howard Chuck, they signed it in Winnipeg, I said, I hope they got a couple of Swedes to play with him, but he doesn't need anyone, does he, Bob?
Fantastic. What a great show he's putting on here tonight. 2-0 Winnipeg. And the Leafs come in. This is Barry Melrose shooting it behind the net. They pile in, they're fighting for it. Leafs come up with it. Dubny got it in front, scramble, right in the crease. And Benning was stopped. Dubny again, a shot this time deflected. Now it's centered. Knocked to the side by Christian, and it goes out into the center ice area. 8:40 left in the period. 2-0 Winnipeg. Gavin on the move this time. Gavin tried to go in himself into the corner. He was bodied by Lindstrom. In back of the net is Waters. Couldn't move it out. Leafs keep it in, looking for their first goal of the game. They lose it. Saginaw has to come back. Now he drops it. Salming ahead. Dubny lost it near the line. But Derlego carries on. Pass too far for Saginaw. And Babbage of the Jets played it ahead. Lindstrom back to him. In around the net is Dave Babbage. Shoots it off the boards. And Winnipeg lining up to come out to center ice. The pass to Lindstrom, and he was stopped at the Maple Leaf line. Now Salming has to go back. 7:50 left in the period. 2-0 Winnipeg on top of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Steen keeping it in. Good forechecking by the Jets. Jim Corrin for Toronto. Waits for a moment, now slides it ahead, and Derlego's away. Coming in with 5 and Harris. It's broken up, and Winnipeg shoot it back down the ice. This one might be icing, but here comes Steen. 5 is back, he touches it, and icing is called. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Remaining, you see it up there, 7:28 in this opening period, and the Jets leading 2-0. Howard Chuck, a goal and 1 assist, and both beautiful efforts. The first one especially. We're going to be talking about that, Bobby, for a while.
I think we'll be talking about many more that he'll make, Bob. He's just a fantastic athlete.
The Winnipeg Jets get it up to center. Coming in, that's Lindstrom. And the low shot, not much on it, and it missed the net. Knocked away by Johansson. Not too far, though. Benning for Derlego. Poked it ahead to 5. Coming in is Derlego. It's broken up at the blue line. That was Levy. Got a stick in the way of it. Lukowicz comes right back in. The pass in on the other side does not work. The Jets circle again. Bring it in on top of the Maple Leafs. Now Toronto trying to cover. It's Harris out as far as center. His long pass is knocked down. There goes Lindstrom looking forward. In front is Steen. There's Steen driving at it. But Bunny LaRocque going down, reached out, and he grabbed it.
Just watch the motion that this Winnipeg team throws at you. Here's that high angle. There's the puck back to Howard Chuck, who, while falling, fires a hard shot against the backboards. McLean just circled the net, brought it out in front, and Bunny LaRocque, moving out to cut off the angle on Howard Chuck, was far out of the crease, and he just put it in the open net. Just watch the motion that this Winnipeg team throws at Toronto as they come down the ice.
Spring tried a shot from the blue line. LaRocque stopped that. Now McGill trying to clear it. Right in front it comes, and LaRocque again has to be careful. The puck was there loose, and he saw, jumped out and grabbed it.
there's so many Winnipeg players in such good position in Toronto's end that really the defensemen don't know which one to take, and that's why Winnipeg is getting so many chances.
Secret, they're moving.
Absolutely.
And they're in for checking again. Leafs unable to get it going inside their own line to organize, to move it out. You see two Jets in for checking, but finally it comes near the line. They keep it in. Now Martin gets it out to center. The pass into Preacher. Coming in with Anderson. Preacher's high shot off the glass and into the crowd. Live from Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. I don't know, that's really rubbing it in, is it not? Not yet, fellows, not yet. It's 6:05 remaining in the period. Winnipeg 2, Toronto nothing. Anderson comes in looking for it, dropped it to Martin. Martin goes behind the net. Preacher has it there for Toronto. Preacher coming in again to help Anderson. They bump on the boards. The Jets back there covering up. And they have it. Winnipeg, soft pass to center. And the Leafs, McGill from Salming shooting it in. Stanowski out of the goal to leave it for Babbage. Babbage comes right in front of his own net. Gave it to McLean. And he just dumped it into the center ice area. Now Anderson waits. He took a shot off the boards. It goes behind the Winnipeg net. Babbage again back first. Over to Hopkins. To the line. Howard Chuck is knocked down as he was hit by Gavin. But Winnipeg start up again. Once more Howard Chuck. Checked hard at the blue line. Preacher tries a shot. That came off his stick and dribbled into Stanowski. Now Howard Chuck. A pass down to center. Winnipeg changing as the play comes in. Smale was turned around, and Melrose his pass to the line. Starting to lay on the muscle a bit now in this first period. Gavin comes in. He ran into Waters, and they get a whistle. George likes the high life. From the looks of things, he can afford it too. Problem is, he never actually pays for anything. He just charges it. Tomorrow, CBC's For the Record takes a humorous look at a serious subject. High card. 4:46 left in the period. Winnipeg 2 and Toronto nothing. That's Savard shooting it in. The Rock reached up to knock it down. Johansson for Toronto. Pass through the middle. Aubin, or rather Gavin couldn't stop it. Down the ice it goes. And Winnipeg again covering to clear it on the line to center. Christian was belted by Melrose. The Rock had a notion to come out, but Saginaw had got back in time. Now from the other side, Waters took a shot. That stopped. Deblois looking for it. Melrose fired it to the line. Deblois threw it in front. In the corner, here's Deblois. A quick, weak shot, and the Rock got the stick save in. Tipped out across the line to center by Dubney. Deblois again for Winnipeg. Shooting it in, and the Jets now change as the play carries into the lead zone. Pass comes this way with 3:50 left in the period. Knocked down by Levy, who brings it in for Winnipeg. He is stopped, and the Jets have to come back. That's Babbage. Front of the net, got away from Derlego. The pass to an open wing. Now Winnipeg coming in. That's McLean with it. Or rather, Steen, who dropped it off to the corner. Lindstrom went after it. And Harris took a jolt, knocked flying. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto. 13 years for this youthful gentleman. Tom Watt. A lot of experience since then, and he's used every minute of it, Bobby.
He's been involved in 20 years in amateur and pro and international competition, so we should know a little something about this game.
Most successful intercollegiate coach in Canadian history.
I believe
you look at Harris of the Maple Leafs. Injured earlier this evening and wanted to get back so badly. I suppose it takes some time, Bobby, to get back into true form.
Well, especially in this circumstance, Bob, with the Leafs stumbling a little bit the way they have.
Good play, but Vibe was stopped in front of the net. Babbage knocked it behind the corner. There's Vibe looking for his man. Derlego has it. Tried to get it in front. He did, but it was tipped out by Lindstrom. Leaf Salming got back. Harris coming in, but offside. Derlego, a little slow getting back out. 31 goals and 42 assists for this young man, and pretty good trade the Leafs pulled off with Vancouver, Bobby, I would say.
I would say that was one of their better trades. Billy, favorite here in Toronto, I think has found a home since coming from Vancouver. Appears very happy by the way he's playing, and I think he's going to be involved in their plans in this youth movement also.
Vibe, of course, looking to be the highest goal scorer in Maple Leaf history. Mahovlich had 48. That was in the 60-61 season, and Vibe now has 43. 2:35 left in the period. Winnipeg 2, Toronto nothing. The Jets. Howardchuk missed it at center. Waters has it up the line, tipped it on the boards to center ice. Hopkins put off stride. Now McLean coming in. McLean into Hopkins. Hopkins trying to roll it in front, and Vibe was back covering up for Toronto. To Bill Harris to center, and it's knocked down by Derlego, who circles. Back on this side to Benning across center. Coming in with Vibe, he shoots it in. Stanowski covers up. Tim Waters takes it out in front of the net for Winnipeg. Good move by Waters to the line at center. That's Howardchuk again. Howardchuk at it again. Moving in with a shot. And it was just wide on the short side. A beautiful move, though. Now Anderson lands on it. He put himself offside. And it's called.
You know, this young man reminds me of the first game I did here, Bob, Hockey Night in Canada, watching a guy by the name of Gretzky.
What a difference a year can make. As you see, the average age from 25.1 down to 23.7. That's only this year we're talking about. Play to center ice. McGill, he missed it. Anderson brought it in. Flipped it on the boards in the corner. That's Frichter looking for it. Doesn't find it, and the Jets have a 2-on-1. Devlewa didn't see it, and it was cleared by McGill. Now Christian shoots it in for Winnipeg. It went high over the glass into the crowd. This afternoon in the National Hockey League, a final. It was 5-3 Boston. Casper had 2 goals in that one. And of course, we'll keep you up to date in other action around the league tonight. The New York Rangers, the only team not in action this Saturday. They're at home to Washington tomorrow night.
There's Terry Martin. He pretty hot hand. He had 3 goals against Toronto last Wednesday. He's 20. Let me see. He's against Chicago. Excuse me. On Wednesday, my old alma mater. He's wishing to continue that to the rest of the season. I think he scored 25 goals this season. Had 23 last year.
Benning now to center for Toronto. That's Anderson coming in. Martin goes in front of the net, but Savard was back to break it up. Tipped to Lukowicz. A minute left in the period. Leafs looking for a goal. Martin was stopped just inside the blue line. Now they carry on. Frichter winds up, faked the shot, jams on the brakes. Looking around for Salming. Left it for him, but the steady one, Savard. Look out, Steen is up there, but the pass was tipped before Steen could get near it. Winnipeg coming in. Steen couldn't take it from Benning. Martin out the center to Anderson. Anderson goes to the far side, lost control of it, and it was cleared out of the zone into the center ice area. And now Anderson is offside, and it's called.
There's Serge Savard. What a great hockey player he has been, and what an addition to this Winnipeg Jets team. He's added that stability to their young defense, and since he has been with the Winnipeg Jets, they have gone on a tramp and a rampage, and now are in second spot.
John Ferguson was telling me before the game tonight, he said, Bobby, you can't believe the difference Savard has made to this team. Look at him, steady, moved it out.
My dad's favorite player.
McLean shooting it in. And there's Saginaw. Lob one to center, only 5 seconds remaining in the period. The Jets shoot it across center ice. Johansson put a shot on the net just as the bell goes to end the first period. And so the score at the end of the first period, Winnipeg 2, Toronto nothing.
And now from the Hockey Night in Canada Control Center, this week in the NHL, an inside look at the past week's activity throughout the league. Here is Brian McFarland.
This week in the NHL, bodies were flying all over the place, literally flying, that is, not because of any rough play on the ice, but because of some rough decisions off the ice. 16 players switched uniforms just before Tuesday's trading deadline. As usual, some like Glenn Hanlon were shocked and sad, others were relieved and glad. Let's hear from Hanlon.
I've come here 5 years ago as a 19-year-old rookie, and I never told anyone that I would break any records or I was going to be the best goaltender that they've ever laid their eyes on. But one thing I have promised and tried to get across to the people in Vancouver that if you come to see me at 10:30 in the morning, either it be in the middle of wintertime or in the middle of summertime, you're going to see Glenn Hanlon working as hard as he can.
I'm looking forward to it, put it that way. You know, I'm really excited about the fact that, you know, I might have the chance to play with him, and to play with guys like Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and that. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to it.
They've traded a lot of veteran players, and, you know, you can't go on the National Hockey League team to play, you know, maybe 3 underage defensemen on the defense and play maybe 2, 3, 4s that are underage or just rookies. It's really tough. You know, you look at the good teams, they have 1 rookie a year breaking in, and we had 5 or 6 this year. So I really think the difference was there.
I have to think about my own self. So because, you know, like I want to be able to have another contract. I don't think there was any chance for me to have one there in Montreal. So hopefully with the Blues, where, you know, they got young defensemen, I'll be able to help them. And who knows, you know, maybe later on, you know, I'll be able to work on that organization.
Every player reacts differently to a trade, especially the first time it happens. Jim Korn is with the Leafs. They're happy to get you, Jim. I wonder how you feel about coming to the Maple Leafs.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. I've got a chance to play here where I didn't have a chance in Detroit, and I hope things work out better here than they did in Detroit.
You said some, well, critical things to me on Wednesday about Coach Wayne Maxner. Obviously, you two didn't get along too well. What was the problem there?
Well, not so much critical. I don't want to put the rap on Wayne, because if I was a better player, obviously I would have played. But there was some friction, I think, between him and me, and things didn't work out there. And hopefully things will work out here for me.
One problem might have been positioning. He had you playing wing a lot of the time. Would you have preferred to be back on the blue line most of the time?
I just preferred to play. I would have played anywhere the team needed me, and they felt that they didn't need me on the blue line as much as they needed me on the wing and in certain games.
Mm-hmm. A little bit about your background, because you are a newcomer to the Leafs very quickly. Place of birth and upbringing, and where'd you play your hockey?
Well, I grew up in the Minnesota high school system, and I went to 4 years of college in Providence, Rhode Island at Providence College, and I played with Detroit for 3 years.
How about an impression of Mike Nicolak, having been with the club a day or two now?
Well, in contrast to the other coaches I've had, Mike is very low-key. He's very much a player's coach. And he's always positive. He's never negative about anything. He always accentuates the positive, and we've got a young club, and that's what you have to do. You can't put too much pressure on the young guys, because they won't be able to handle it.
Have you had a chance to meet Mr. Ballard yet?
Yes, I have. I talked to him on the phone the day they acquired me, and he's in the locker room every day, and he's a nice gentleman. Okay,
thank you, Jim Korn, and good luck to you with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we'll return with more on This Week in the NHL in just a moment.
NHL Highlights featuring the Play of the Week, brought to you by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Thursday night at the Boston Garden, and the Winnipeg Jets, with only one loss in their last 8 games, get off to a quick start against the hometown Boston Bruins. Lukowicz scores his 34th, and right here, Christian comes through with goal number 21. From Smale and Devlois, 2-0 Jets at this point. But later in the period, Middleton gets a break and scores the first of 3 goals. He slips it in. That's number 45 on the season, tied at 2. Later on in the hockey game, here comes 46 for Middleton. It's 5-3 Boston at this point. And still one more for Middleton, the great Boston Bruin, headed for 50 goals. There's number 47. The Bruins skate away from the Jets 7-4. On the same night at the Montreal Forum, rookie goaltender Rick Wamsley picks up his 2nd shutout of the year at the expense of the Chicago Blackhawks. Late in the first period, Napier scores his 35th from Robinson and Lafleur, 1-0 Montreal. And then Napier sets up Lafleur for his 26th goal, an easy one there, and it's 2-0 Habs. In the third period, Langway scores to put the Habs in front 3-0, and then Rajan Uhl comes through with goal number 10. And the Canadians skate off with a 4-0 victory over the visiting Chicago Blackhawks. They win their 40th of the season, move into 2nd place overall. Also Thursday at the Calgary Stampede Corral, Jamie Hislop with a pair of goals paces the Flames to a 6-3 victory over the visiting Vancouver Canucks. First goal for Hislop in the third period as he puts the Calgary Flames in front 3-2. Radicalio makes it 4-2 Calgary with his 14th of the year. McCarthy comes back for Vancouver. The Canuck is taken out of the play here, but McCarthy slips in and blasts one home. It's 4-3 at this point, and Hislop comes through again with his 15th of the season. 5-3 Calgary. They add one more and beat Vancouver 6-3. Then last night in Edmonton, the Oilers lose again, and Gretzky goes goalless once again. He's stalled at 82 and hasn't scored in the month of March. Here's Mongrain scoring for Buffalo to put the Sabres in front 3-1. Huddy comes back for the Edmonton Oilers to get his 3rd of the year. Check it here from Curry and Siltanen, 3-2 at this point. And then the big play of the game, the most controversial play of this hockey game, as Gretzky gets a break. Watch closely now. He takes the shot. The puck drops free in front of Edwards. He's bowled over. The puck goes in the net, but referee Kerry Fraser says no goal. I lost sight of that puck. The Oilers lose the argument and the hockey game. Buffalo wins 3-2. Some hot timbers in Edmonton last night. Well, we found our Panasonic play of the week in a game played a couple of nights earlier. This was between the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks, played in Vancouver. Man to watch here, Thomas Gradin, and watch him score number 31 of the year. A personal high for the fleet Swedish star of the Vancouver Canucks. A great move here. He goes in on goal, pulls Edwards out, and slips it in. Gradin scores for the Vancouver Canucks in the 2nd period in a losing effort, and that's our play of the week.
The play of the week has been brought to you by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Right now.
That's a total of 8 so far this year, and the big surprise was in St. Louis, where Red Berenson was replaced by President and General Manager Emile Francis. He does everything.
Swing. When that broke, of course, it felt like, somebody was behind you, and it was a matter of time before the final blow was struck.
So the Blues are ready for a kick in the pants, and the Red Wings, why, they're ready to be sold. Live on CBC, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
The Winnipeg Jets lead Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0 as they get ready to start the second period. The Winnipeg goals, Howard Chuck, his 36th of the year from McLean and Stanowski at the 6-minute mark. And then McLean, his 27th from Howard Chuck and Hopkins at 10:45. The Winnipeg Jets outshot Toronto Maple Leafs 13-6, Bobby Hull, in that first period. And they indeed carried the play to the Leafs.
Oh, they definitely did. This is a well-coached Winnipeg Jets hockey club. I give Tom Watt all the credit in the world. The motion that, as we spoke before, about the motion that Winnipeg throws at Toronto on the way up the ice. They don't give the puck away in Toronto's zone. They don't give it away in their own zone. They're just a well-coached hockey club.
And now we're ready for the start of the second period as referee Dave Newell comes to center ice and drops it in. And the Leafs, 5, bringing it in. The Leafs naturally would like to get a goal early if they can. Stanowski had to be very careful as Vive flipped it from behind the net, and he was covering, hugging the post.
They've been getting great goaltending, too, during this stretch drive Winnipeg has. Both these goaltenders have played very well.
Derlego with Bill Harris and Vive. Winnipeg again covering after the draw. They get it out of their own zone down the ice. Larocque knocked it in behind the net for Salming to Vive. He poked it to center. Vive again. Got as far as center ice. Howard Chuck played it in. Winnipeg's McLean took a shot. He was covered by McGill. Didn't get a very good shot away. Now Hopkins is tied up by Derlego. Again, Howard Chuck for Winnipeg, trying to keep it in. He was unsuccessful. Harris turning with it, lost it in his own zone. A shot was wide of the net, and the Leafs can't move it out. Kept in by Howard Chuck. Derlego went after him, bumped him on the boards, and knocked him down. They hold it in the corner. The puck comes loose. Still in play. Salming tried to jam it with his skate. It's played back of the net. Howard Chuck comes out front, fanned on his shot, and Harris is away for Toronto. 5 on the right wing. Harris trying to go in, out of the net is Stanowski to clear it to center ice. That's Melrose. Backs up in his own zone. Aubin missed it at center. Lukowicz fired it in. Winnipeg on the move. Lindstrom centered it. The shot by Lukowicz is grabbed off the backboard by Larocque, and he held it. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Bob Cole with Bobby Hull in the gondola at Maple Leaf Gardens here in Toronto. 3-0 the Winnipeg Jets, opening up an early lead in this hockey game, leading 2-0 at the end of one period. And now Steen scoring here in the second. While the Leafs were shorthanded, Larocque has to come 15 feet out of the net, then he was upended. Kept in by Deblois in the corner. Smale, back of the net, centered it. It comes by everyone into the center ice zone again. Babbage from the line to Christian. He circles. That pass to Smale would have been offside. He did not touch it. Now Melrose for Toronto. Laid it ahead, but Smale stealing it, brings it back in. Skates to the far side, set it up in front. Just missed Deblois. Then he overskates it. Babbage kept it in for a moment. Still looking for it. Puck is loose inside the line, and it's cleared back to the Winnipeg blue line. That's Babbage. Feeds it back. The Jets on the move again. Broken up at center. Toronto got rid of it. Winnipeg again. Levy shot it in off the boards, and Larocque out of the net to stop it. The Leafs coming again. Saginaw, stick handles to center. Saginaw got away from Hopkins. Still with it. Saginaw looking for a man to play it to. Back to McGill. Shot. Low shot wide. Here's Salming with a chance. Lobbed it in back of the net. Leafs still on top of it. Podubny tried to center it. Gave it to Gavin. He circles in front of Kane. And Podubny was put off stride to pass behind him. Now Babbage, forced to go behind the goal. Derlego tipped it near the line to McGill. Into the side. Podubny to Derlego, and his shot is knocked away by Stanowski. Stanowski has been very steady when he's had an opportunity to make a save or two.
It's the first time, Bob, I've seen the Jets a little bit disorganized in their own end.
In other games around the league in the second period, Vancouver and Edmonton in a 1-1 tie. Montreal leading Hartford. Calgary, LaValle the scorer over Buffalo. You look at some of the other scores. The final this afternoon, Boston defeating Detroit 5-3. Philadelphia having all kinds of problems, trailing Washington tonight. Minnesota and St. Louis just getting underway now. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period. Winnipeg 3, Toronto nothing. There's Howard Chuck.
And that's St. Louis. If that St. Louis club happened to lose tonight, there's Dale Howard-Chuck, that kid that does it all. St. Louis happened to lose tonight, and Winnipeg win. They'd be 5 points up on them for that home advantage when they meet in the playoffs.
Hopkins couldn't clear it for Winnipeg. He'll get another chance. This time he got it to center. Hopkins played it off the stick of McGill. He's turning with Anderson. McGill fired it ahead. Savard coolly dumped it back to the Toronto blue line. Salming is circling. Here he comes to pass into 5. Came off the boards. He couldn't pick it up. Now Derlego put it in front. Winnipeg back covering up, and McLean cleared it. Howard-Chuck comes in. He's at it again. Howard-Chuck into the corner to Hopkins. Hopkins comes in front and can't shoot it. Now Hopkins once again circling. Got away from a check. Howard-Chuck has it. Tried to pass it in front. The pass was blocked by Salming. Winnipeg keeping it in. Hopkins got in front. Here's the shot. He scored. McLean reached out with one hand and knocked it in.
Well, wait till you see what Howard-Chuck did. I think he just spun around, and on his backhand, he hit the puck. Here he is being checked. Now watch this. Puck bounce. There he is with his back to the puck. Slices it out in front to Hopkins, who just one-handed it over top of Bunny. Here's the play again. Winnipeg Jets with the puck. They lose it. There's Howard-Chuck with his back to him. Oh, it's McLean. McLean that one-handed it over top of Larocque. They were all there.
Paul McLean from Larry Hopkins.
A rookie line for the Winnipeg Jets. Howard-Chuck, McLean, and Hopkins, and what a year they're having. It's 4-0 Winnipeg. The fans here at the Gardens getting very restless with the Maple Leafs now. But here comes Harris. In front it goes. Preacher can't put it in. He waited until Stanowski had gone down and then lost control of it a bit. Lukowicz bumped near center ice. Still has it though. Now he's knocked down. The Jets knock it in. Lindstrom breaking right in on goal. Scores! Beautiful play by Lindstrom, pouring in with one man back. 5-0 Winnipeg.
Toronto losing the puck right here at the blue line. Watch it. Puck is, who is that? Number 2 for Toronto. That's Johansson going in, losing the puck to Lindstrom. Willie walking in with Thomas Steen, and here it is. Lindstrom, watch the move he puts on. Fakes to his right, comes to his left on his forehand and fires it up over top. Willie, in telling me about the 5 goals that he'd scored in Philadelphia, described one just like that. Getting the puck loose at the blue line, walking in and faking to his right, coming to his left and up over top of the goaltender.
6:19, the roof caving in on the Maple Leafs. 2 goals here within 34 seconds of this second period. And you can see the owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr. Harold Ballard, and his sidekick, King Clancy, not very pleased with this performance this evening.
I think those gentlemen are going to have to be content, Bob, with...
We have a problem down on the far side and behind Bunny Larocque. The goal lights went on for that last goal, and they're not off yet. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Saturday night, more action on Hockey Night in Canada. Toronto Maple Leafs will be facing these Jets in Winnipeg, and Minnesota is at Montreal. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Still having a problem down there. Now, what is happening? They brought a white towel over there. Not a surrender flag.
I don't think so. Not yet, Bob.
To the goal judge down at the far end behind Bunny LaRock. They're having some difficulty with that red light. What do they do, Bobby? Wave the flag if the light doesn't work?
That's what they used to do. They used to stand on the back of the net, and when the puck went in, they had a red flag. They used to wave it. That's a little before my time.
5-0 Winnipeg. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the second period. Korn comes back for Toronto. He's on the defense with Salmi. Harris looked for it. Now he decides to leave it for Salming. Gets it up to Freacher. He didn't get too far. Salming will try it. Circles at center. Salming trying to solve the Winnipeg Jets, who are playing great positional hockey. And they just let it go to Lukowicz, who kicked it out to Steen at center. Steen has one goal tonight. Lukowicz going in. Nearly broke through. Lukowicz still looking for it inside the line. Now he's in the center ice area with it. Lukowicz all the way back in his own zone. Dropped it there. Waters the pass off the boards and Salming. Thomas Steen watching him. Deep play by Salming. Preacher goes in. Slides it in front of the net. He might have had a shot with a screen in front of Stanowski, but elected to pass it. And as Korn comes back, the Jets are called for icing.
Every time Toronto comes in with a concerted effort, there's always that Winnipeg forward line in great position along with their defense to bust up the play. I was talking to Coach Watt. He was a little concerned with the effort that the Winnipeg Jets had put into their last couple of games, but I don't think he has to be too concerned.
Gavin is on for Toronto. Got the draw to Saginaw, but his shot deflected off a leg. Savard takes over in the corner. Wisely played it over on the boards to Smale. He got it to center. There's Smale again. Still with it. Christian now brings it in. Smale in front. Diplawad took a shot. It bounced wide of the net. And Jim Benning for Toronto. Pass ahead. Gavin leads a three-man attack for the Leafs. Saginaw on the right side, closing in. The shot knocked down. Back of the line. And a drive grabbed by Stanowski as Melrose let her go. Another NHL update for you now with Brian McFarland.
Bob, the Edmonton Oilers continue to struggle. They trail Vancouver 2-1 now as Lupul has put the Canucks in front. He got their second goal. It hit Fuhr and went into the net here. Gretzky limped off moments ago with a sore knee. We'll wait to see if he comes back. Let's hope he does. 2-1 Vancouver in Edmonton. Let's get back to the action in Toronto.
You know, Bobby, Edmonton are definitely having some kind of difficulties right now. I'm not sure what it is, but it's been this way for a week or more.
They're not the powerhouse that they have been in recent weeks, and if there's something wrong with that Gretzky kid, be careful.
Don Spring behind the net for Winnipeg. Trying to move it. Babbage goes in to help him. Babbage over this way with it, and it went by Hopkins down the ice. Salming is coming back. No icing. 11:45 left in the second period. Winnipeg 5, Toronto 0. Dupney's hard shot was deflected by Stanowski. Now the goaltender played it into the corner. Gavin couldn't come up with it. Knocked out by a glove. Hopkins chased it himself, so the play goes right on, and Gavin brings it back. Here's Gavin up over the line and driving for the corner. Got it in front of the net. And they covered up in time, and McLean cleared it to Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck on the move, another great one. Howard Chuck, let her go. And LaRock goes down to hang on. With a score, Winnipeg 5, Toronto 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
This is the
6 remaining in the second period. I'm Bob Cole with Bobby Hull in the gondola. At the Gardens in Toronto, it's all Winnipeg so far, 5-0. Savard for Winnipeg. Shoots it on the boards. It's in behind the Leaf net. Toronto trying to get something going in Korn. The lead pass to center to Anderson. He tipped it into 5. 5 was covered by Waters. 5 has it. Got it back to the point. Korn feint on it. Now he gets it away in front of 5. And he tried to hit the short side and missed by a foot. Penalty coming up against Bill Derlego of the Toronto Maple Leafs. A tripping call. This game is coming to you from Toronto.
Here's that penalty. There's Derlego just outright sweeping the skates out from under Thomas Steen, I believe that was. A little bit of frustration showing there.
Winnipeg, last time with a man advantage, got a goal. Let's see how they do now. Dupont is coming in, trying to center it. Anderson broke it up, comes back with Vive. Vive gets the pass, looking for some room around Babbage. Fell, got the shot away, went into the boards, and he draws a penalty against Babbage of the Winnipeg Jets.
When you skate and make the defenseman pull you down, here it is. Vive putting on a burst of speed around the outside of Babbage. Babbage having to sprawl out on the ice, and he clipped him and tripped him and knocked him down. That's what skating will do for you. They've got to pull you down.
So here at 9:42,
number 44,
Babbage goes off.
2 minutes for tripping. Time 9:42.
Tripping penalty to Babbage of the Winnipeg Jets. This man, John Ferguson, told me about a half hour before the game, he said, you know, I can't stand it. I get goosebumps and nerves before every game. But what a job, John, you have done with this Winnipeg Jet team. Second place in this Norris division. And the way they're playing right now, they're going to hang on. St. Louis trailing them by 3 points. They'll have a tough time.
Yes, they will.
Trying to catch Winnipeg with fellows like this guy, Howard Chuck. This time he loses it to Vive. Vive gets in front. Went off balance, couldn't shoot it. Savard gets it out to center ice. Howard Chuck on the left side as Deblois goes in. And the shot is stopped by LaRock. Jets have it. That's Howard Chuck. Couldn't center it by Korn. Korn stealing it for Toronto. Lost it then. Deblois to Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck slides it back near the point, and Vive brings it to center ice. Dropped it. The Leafs have to backtrack. Anderson and Salming. This is Salming looking for room. In with a shot. That's stopped by Stanowski. And a breakaway for Howard Chuck. Here he is. LaRock in the net. Made the save on Howard Chuck. A clean cut breakaway. And LaRock stood there. Preacher bringing it in. Pass is in the corner. Winnipeg back covering. Anderson tried to knock it in front and couldn't. Levy got it loose, and it's cleared down the ice. The Rock will have to play it, so no icing as Treacher grabs it for Toronto, dropped it back to Salming. Derlego has 15 seconds left in his penalty. The Leafs coming out. They're 5 aside at the moment as Treacher goes in. There's Treacher. Get back to the net. Savard chasing it. Treacher still has it. Got rid of it to Martin. Martin stopped by the goaltenders back there. Stanowski. Now Derlego's back on. The Leafs with a man advantage. Savard sees it, and he'll dump it out. Derlego fired it back in for Martin. Martin gets loose. Can't get a shot. Derlego knocked it down. Let one go quickly and just missed. Stanowski, who likes to roam, goes in behind the net. Martin all over him. Puck comes loose, but the whistle had gone, and no further play.
Stanowski handles himself really well out of the net. He's good with that hockey stick.
Another NHL update tonight for Brian McFarland.
The Vancouver Canucks were caught with 2 men in the penalty box at the very same time. Gretzky, who was shaken up earlier, came back to play on the power play, and he set up this goal by Siltanen on the power play for Gretzky. Point number 188. He got the assist, tied at 2. The Canucks and the Oilers. Let's get back now to the Leafs and the Jets.
So they're breathing easier, I guess, in Edmonton with Gretzky back in form, as you saw. 5-0 here. Winnipeg leading Toronto with 8:15 left in the second period. The Jets clear it down the ice. Coming back, Johansson against Lindstrom. Leafs trying to move it out. Lukovic gets a chance, poked it in front. Covering on the play was Korn. At center, Martin coming in with Preacher. Martin off to the corner. Babbage bumped with him. Now Harris centers it. And Stanowski covering up, just hangs on to it. Bunny LaRock coming up big a moment ago, Bobby, on that breakaway by Hawerchuk.
Well, here's Dale Hawerchuk going in, and a little defensive Dale. He was a little bit tired. He caught up to the puck, but somehow or other, just before he shot it, he pulled it into his feet right in the middle of them. And I think it was just through a little bit of fatigue. He headed to the bench right after that. LaRock held his ground, though, and came out and made Hawerchuk shoot right into him.
At this point of the second period, Winnipeg out shooting Toronto 7-4 and leading 5-0. That's Smale being bumped as he tried to go around Salming. Salming going in there in that corner. Deblois gets it back. A fight started. Salming, not often you see Salming into it, but he's into it now.
I think it was more a wrestling match than anything. They collided in the corner after Salming, I think, threw a little bit of a knee at Smale on his way by, and Smale didn't like it and bodied Salming a little bit. They hugged a little bit in the corner. Salming, being a somewhat bigger man than Smale, wrestled him to the ice.
Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Well, Bobby, Salming and Smale each draw a pair of minors.
2 minutes for high sticking, 2 minutes for roughing. Time 12:26.
Here's the start of that penalty. There's Salming all over the back of Smale and then takes him hard into the boards. The sticks are up, and then Smale wraps his arms around Salming, and from there they just went to the ice.
So with 7:30 left in the second period, Salming and Smale draw double minors. 5-0 Winnipeg leading Toronto Maple Leafs. McGill in his own zone played it off the boards behind LaRock. Leafs trying to clear it. Savard ran into Podubny and knocked him flying. Waters is bumped by Gavin on the boards near the Winnipeg blue line. Now McGill's long shot, easy save for Stanowski. That's Savard behind the net. Cooley plays it off to the right side. Deblois stopped near center. And the Leafs bring it in again. Korn with Podubny getting in front of the net. Korn fell in the corner. Savard covering him. They'll try to get a whistle now as they put their skates on it. They hold it. And the play is called.
A lot of weight, a lot of height there.
Here's the youngster, Walt Podubny from Thunder Bay. He asked me to say hello to Dave and his buddies. They're all at Dave's house tonight up in Thunder Bay rooting for him. Says he's going to do his darndest to get one for the boys.
Well, he'd better do it right away and get him back in the game.
Got an assist so far. Walt Podubny played his junior hockey in Kingston. Johansson played it in on the side. That's Benning centering it. Vibe was in front but covered on the play. Levy was all over him. Wouldn't let him move. Hawerchuk gets some room in his own zone. Neat play for Babbage. Babbage goes in on the right side. Had it knocked away. It's kept in by Hopkins. In front is Hawerchuk. Again, Hopkins cutting for the corner. Got away from Benning. Gets it back to Babbage. On the boards in the corner. Hawerchuk fell. LaRock out of the net to clear it. Derlego couldn't move it out. Babbage kept it in. They hold it near the boards. Now it's loose to Hopkins. Hopkins gets in front. Vibe is watching him. Hopkins has it. Played it off the boards behind the net. Hawerchuk keeping it in. Winnipeg won't let the Leafs out. There's Hopkins breaking for the net. Hawerchuk scores! It's amazing how they moved it around inside the line, virtually unmolested, and Hawerchuk set it up again.
It was just them keeping control of the puck. Here they are, having control of the puck off the boards. Pretty play out in front to Hawerchuk by Hopkins, and it bang in the net, and it's 6-0. Here it is. They kept it, control of it on the boards. Earlier they were fighting with it, Babbage and Hopkins and Hawerchuk. A sweet play out in front to Howard Chuck, who skated to get in position to get that puck.
And number 44, Dave Babbage. Time 14:16.
14:16. The time of this one. Number 6 for Winnipeg. Freacher, the Leafs looking for their first. Freacher stopped as he tried to go in. Spring just got a bit of it going by. Freacher in the corner has it again. Don Spring holding his man on the boards. Freacher got loose, gave it to Martin. Martin against Savard. That didn't work too well for the Leafs. Near the line, though, McGill stopped it. Now he has to go back with it. Lukowicz had covered on him. Martin tried to poke it by Savard. He was stopped by the Winnipeg defenseman. Lukowicz drops it back. Spring winding up with Savard. He turns in the corner. And now Steen comes out with it. Ahead it goes to Lukowicz with some great speed. Lukowicz going in. Fan on it. The rock went down. And the puck went flying in behind the Winnipeg player, Lukowicz. Freacher coming out again. He's got good moves. Now he plays it. Fan on that pass. But McGill grabbed it anyway. Korn went in. Korn on the boards. Around Babbage. Centering it. It comes to Johansson. The shot. And Ed Stanowski saw it all the way and held it.
There's the young man that scored the last Winnipeg goal. Now here's a shot from behind the net. Now watch Hopkins come around the net. Just before he goes around, shovels it out in front to Howard Chuck, who had skated in front. Now there's the goal judge. There's that towel. There he is. He's signifying a goal with the raising of that white towel.
4:20 remaining in the period. Winnipeg 6 and Toronto no score. And in the penalties to Smale and Salming, 46 seconds remaining. Willie Lindstrom, number 20 for Winnipeg, as Waters takes over in the corner. Benning comes in to stop it. Benning centered it. Winnipeg covering in front of the net. Nobody free in front of Ed Stanowski. Comes near the line. Johansson stopped it. Benning shot. And Stanowski again snared that and held it.
You notice, Bob, that the plays made by the Winnipeg Jets are always to people. They look and give it to someone that can do something with it. Toronto Maple Leafs are in desperation wheeling and firing it blind and just passing and hoping that someone is going to be there. Things don't happen that way. They have to be planned.
4 minutes left in the second period. 6-0 Winnipeg. Long pass to center, knocked down by Benning. Benning being watched by Christian, got it up. Now Christian didn't see it. Anderson does. Anderson stick handles to center ice. Anderson's pass. Johansson comes in. Can't shoot it. Waters stopped him. Stanowski out of the net, left it there. Waters pass to the blue line. Winnipeg on the move again. Lundholm this time. Good move around Salming. Lundholm breaking right in. Around the net, centered it. A scramble for it, and Smale fanned on his shot attempt. Now Larocque covering up. Smale behind the net. Smale again on the boards. Out near the blue line. Dropped it into the corner for Christian. He was stopped. Salming went after it. Kicked it ahead. Salming's pass now to Harris. Out to center is Anderson. On the left. Harris going in, trying to break for the net, but Savard would have none of that. Lundholm left it to Smale. He breaks away, skating well. Is Smale, he shoots it in, and the Jets change as the play goes on. 2:40 left in the period. 6-0 Winnipeg. This is Benning. Across center going in. Benning was bumped on the play by Levy. Now into help is Hopkins. He left it for Howard Chuck. He gets away again. 3 of them come to center. Howard Chuck going in. Gets set for the play. And went in front of the clean fan on it. Backhander by Howard Chuck is stopped by Larocque. Howard Chuck still there looking for it. That's Gavin getting rid of it. Padupny tried to move it out and couldn't. Benning did. Went by. Saginaw down the ice. Savard back. And that's icing against Toronto. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
the Metrican.
Bob Cole and Bobby Hull in the gondola at Maple Leaf Gardens with 2:05 left of the second period, and Winnipeg leads Toronto 6-0. Steen got the draw at the blue line. Babbage, the shot kicked away by Larocque. Center ice. And McGill shoots it in. Stanowski back to the net, stopping it. Here comes Gavin, but Babbage is there for Winnipeg. Tipped it ahead. The Leafs stay with it. That's Korn turning around. Into the corner. For Dubny, he lost it. And Lindstrom played it ahead. Lukowicz on the move on that far side. That's Lukowicz going in. McGill watching him. Lukowicz dropped it in behind the goal, and Korn for Toronto has it. He's tied up for a second, and it's knocked away. Lukowicz couldn't keep it in. The Leafs come out. McGill coming down with a long shot, scooped away by Stanowski. And Spring takes over for Winnipeg. 1:10 left of the period. Benning has to go back in his own zone. There's Benning by Lukowicz, but Derlego is forced back. Derlego's pass on an open wing. And back goes Spring with a minute left in the second period. And the fans give a cheer for that. Nothing much for Leaf fans to be cheering about in this hockey game tonight. No icing, they beat him to it again. It comes in front of the goal, and the Leafs cover up with 40 seconds left. Vibe going in with Derlego. Here's Vibe, shoots, and a hard shot right on, and Stanowski hangs on. Second intermission tonight. We're going to have pro tips for you. Let's see what it's about.
Often overlooked, but most important, on-ice communication. Pierre Paget and Howie Meeker talk it up. Al McNeil and Don Edwards are featured as well on Pro Tips in our second intermission tonight.
And speaking of pro tips and coaching, don't forget, also in our second intermission, our friend and yours, Don Cherry in Coach's Corner. Gonna talk about goal nets tonight. It'll be interesting. Stay with us. 6-0 Winnipeg over Toronto. With 33 seconds left of the period, Howard Chuck on the move. Howard Chuck trying to go in, and this time he's stopped by Melrose, who played the body all the way. Melrose trying to move it out. Gets it to 5, 20 seconds left in the period. And it's Waters coming in with Howard Chuck and Smale. That Smale upended. It comes in front of the net, and the Leafs clear it to the line. Savard stopped it for Howard Chuck. He got rid of it. And the clock will run out now as Melrose shoots it to center ice. The bell goes to end the second period, and the score at the end of the second period is Winnipeg 6 and Toronto 0.
Thank you.
The Coach's Corner, and every good coach has an assistant coach. Don Cherry and his assistant, his famous dog Blue. I thought you said she was a beauty.
Isn't she beautiful? Is she beautiful, eh? Oh. Doug and Bob, I'll tell you.
Are there any little SOBs in her doghouse? Sons of Blue?
She's lovely. She's lovely. Listen, we can't talk.
Okay. All right.
We can't talk about the game tonight.
Why?
Well, why? You want to talk about it? All right, we'll go into it. But first of all, we're going to talk about the net. Why? I don't know why. They told me we're going to talk about the net. All right, okay. Now, what are we going to talk? This is the most dangerous thing in sports right now, this net. Serge Savard, I think about 7 years ago, broke his leg in 3 places. They thought, I was talking to Claude LaRose last night. He did the same thing. Remember, he got carried off? Are you with me, Brian?
Yeah, well, I think you should be talking to those folks.
All right, here we are. Now, some people don't know how this works. This goes in to the ice, screws into the ice. This goes on top, right here, on top, down here. We cleaned up the floor for this. Right there, sets right on top. Now, Art Ross, this is an Art Ross net. And when Art Ross did it, he said it was supposed to be a thing that keep the puck in. So far, we've done nothing but ruin Art Ross's net. This thing is so tight. Can you get a thing here? The puck comes in and out. We can't even catch it on television. Now, if you get this down here in the middle, can you get this down here in the middle? This net is 20 years old. It's been going for 40 years. The only reason they cut that off is Mark Howe almost killed himself last year.
Yeah, that was a bad accident.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing. Now, there must be somebody out there that can come up with something better than this. We pay these guys $800,000 a year, and what happens is they come in, they hit this thing, I would say a plastic. If anybody has an idea, write to Brian and let him know.
No, write to Don Cherry.
Oh, is that? All right, we'll let him know, but I'm telling you, this is a dangerous thing. I'm not kidding. One time I fell into it, and you can't believe the feeling of falling into it.
Which end of the rink would that be at? Because you very seldom got down into a scoring position at the other end, you told me when you played.
I was at this end. I know what's going on. I watched what's going on. I've seen some terrible, terrible injuries on this net. We must come up with something better than we've got.
What about nets for kids? Should they be anchored the way these nets are?
Never, I'm telling coaches, never, 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 ever anchor, I don't care what it is, never anchor the nets on there too. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. You guys, you coaches out there, when the ice is flooded, don't put the net right on and let it get in there for these kids like cement. What happens is that it gets like cement, the poor little kids fall into it, they break their legs and things like that, and this does happen. Put the net in the corner. And I know what you're going to say, fall and spring, it's so wet, you can't do it, you can't put it over in the corner. What I'm saying is then, move it over that far. Don't let it go and sit in those ruts. It's just like cement. You might save some kid's life.
I'm not going to say that at all. I'm going to say time's up, Coach.
That's
for being
it?
with it. That's it.
I thought I did a good job.
You did indeed. The Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Stay tuned for Howie Meeker when Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment.
What about, is there much difference between the practices you run an amateur and the practices you run as a professional?
No.
No difference?
No.
Well, what do you stress?
Well, at first I tried to operate, with Al, we were trying to operate more strategy, and then with respect to fundamentals like we talked a while ago, and we went back to the passing drills like this, you know, with stretching, and then went into 15, 20 minutes of passing drills from different angles, and specific to games, and then we worked on the defense on the side, quarterbacking moves. So all these fundamentals sort of helped our game develop better. You know, like our defense were passing better because our defense were not passing the way we'd like to at first. The forwards are complaining, but we said they're going to pass better if you hold your position, if you give them a target, and then they're going to pass better if we work on drills. Like telling a quarterback, I mean, you got to be a better quarterback than that, but you got to give them drills to be a quarterback. So we had all kinds of patterns like this, and then more and more confusion on the ice. So they were developing their peripheral vision, you know. They were starting to pick out people in the crowd, and that was a weakness. The reason why they couldn't pass, they couldn't compete. It's like a quarterback. He sees the first receiver and he's covering. He's got to pick out the second. Well, that's a skill, you know. Well, my guys didn't have it.
Hey, stay on the line. Put it on, that's it. Make it fast. Put it right on the target. Come on. Sit. Put it. Good pass. Move fast. Stay on side. Sit. Good pass. Good. Hit the net. Put it on the target. Put it on. Put it home. Good work. All right, let's go.
The idea of this drill is to get the defenseman, the quarterback, the puck, and while in the move, he hits the open winger with a pass. Look out. You got a pair of forwards on your team like these two, you'd better forget the quarterbacking and the passing. Run for the sidelines. You might as well forget the rebound, Mark. There just ain't going to be it.
How important is communication, verbal communication between defense pairs?
Oh, to me, I think it's everything, Howie. I don't see how two fellows can go out and play, and especially at the pro level, and not have good contact with each other verbally. And if they're not talking, I don't think you have a good sense of where the other fellow is. He's able to know exactly what you want to do. You're able to direct your partner into the corner, and then he knows that your front of the net is going to be covered. I think it's the most important part of two guys being successful in defense.
Three forwards who can consistently perform the skills can beat two defensemen 7 times out of 10.
Take it, Blair. Oh, boy, Blair.
Good communications between defense pairs increase the odds.
Make sure you're coming across, though, on that.
I will. I'm in the middle. Well, I can see he's going really wide. I don't come
as long
over
as he
too
doesn't
far.
get past you, you're all right.
I'm not going to come over and play Bosch, though, because he's just going to throw it right over to Mark.
That's all right. I won't do it until as soon as he's committed himself to pass it, then I'm going to come across.
All CNCP telecommunications, plus Chico Resch's encouragement and advice wouldn't stop this goal.
As a 3-on-2 situation sets up, the defenseman's job is to stay close, keep the man to the outside, don't let the guy right in the slot. Sorry, Brian. I sort of committed.
I'm not really a...
Winnipeg Jets with 4 goals in the second period open up a 6-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs and seem to be coasting onto their victory tonight against the Leafs and hanging on to that second spot in the Norris Division, while the Leafs continue to struggle looking for that last playoff position, which up to now has eluded them, and it doesn't look any brighter. It's not over, of course, Bobby Hull, but when do you draw the line?
Well, Bob, I, for all intents and purposes, a 6-0 lead going into the third period, I would have to say that the Jets would have to completely collapse in order for the Toronto Maple Leafs to win. In the playoffs, this Winnipeg Jet team, if they hang on to the position that they're in now, they've been a great road club as well as they have a home club. They have played 35 games at home, won 15 of them, and 38 points out of that those 35 games. St. Louis on the road has been very bad. 7 games won, 24 lost, and 2 tied. So that's what we're looking at when these two clubs meet.
And the third period is just underway, with the Leafs trailing Winnipeg 6-0 and moving out. Derligo comes in with a shot deflected by Babbage. Knocked away by Spring, but not out. Now Winnipeg will get a chance to clear it as Christian got it out across the line. Spring has to come back again, though. Stops near the side of the net to get away from Anderson. Bad pass. Aubin! Oh! It dribbled off the glove of Stanowski and nearly caught the far corner. Just missed. Now the Jets will move it. Long pass on the left side to Smale. Driving for the net, he jams on the brakes and then falls. Manages to hook it into the corner, though. Christian got it in front to him, and the Leafs' Anderson has it. He dumped it on the glass by Savard down the ice. Aubin couldn't pick it up. Korn fired it in, but Aubin was trapped offside, and it's called.
One of the few mistakes by a Winnipeg Jet, Christian giving the puck away to Normand Aubin. Here he is, firing a low slap shot that Winnipeg goaltender just got a piece of, and it dribbled by the post. Eddie Stanowski.
There's Savard shooting one in wide of the net for Waters, who comes in. He centered it. Another shot by Howard Chuck, and just wide. He had the open goal. Howard Chuck stealing it. Dropped it in front, and LaRock knocked it away. Got set up McLean on that play. Howard Chuck again forechecking. Savard couldn't stop it. Savard trying to get back against Aubin. At the line, Freacher, but McLean steals it. Back with Howard Chuck. McLean going in for Winnipeg. Gets set to make a play to Howard Chuck, does. Howard Chuck all alone, gets in front. Howard Chuck finally knocked off the puck, and Johansson slapped it off the skate to center. Waters at his own blue line, away from Freacher. Howard Chuck again was stopped. Now Waters carries on. Waters, a long high shot in on the boards, and LaPointe covers up. There's Johansson for Podupny to center. Freacher moving in for Gavin. Gavin trying to beat Babbage. Flipped it in behind the net. Stanowski covering. In the corner, that's Freacher trying to dig it out. Left of there along the boards. Lukowicz steers it to center. Coming in on the play is Steen. Faked the shot, dropped it back. There's the drive. And that was wide. Levy let it go right in front of the net. Another shot. They scored. Lindstrom alone. 7-0 Winnipeg.
Lindstrom went across in front of the net, and I think he was looking to give it back to Steen. Let's have a look at it here. Here's the shot from the boards. Went across in front of the net, and there's Willie Lindstrom. Johnny on the spot, going across the net. Wanted the goaltender to make a move, fired it, and then it hit the defenseman's feet and went in the net. Here it is again. Here's Lindstrom. Larocque in good position, hits his defenseman and goes in. There's Larocque, a little bit upset, whacks his big goal stick against the net.
Thomas Steen. Time 2:39.
2:39, the time of the goal. Winnipeg, 7th of the night.
Thomas Steen. Time 2:39.
Now Benning for Toronto. Long pass, knocked down at center. Here comes Saganuk. He centers it right in front of the net. And it's cleared to Johansson. He couldn't get a shot then. Babbage failed to move it out. Gavin keeping it in with Podupny in front of the net. Now Podupny going behind the goal to help him. Missed the pass. Saganuk after it. And Winnipeg Jets having difficulty clearing it now. Stanowski out of the net. Dumped it in on the corner boards. Lukowicz will send it out, or will he? No. The Leafs keep it in. They're having a tough time getting rid of it. Finally, they shoot it down the ice. And icing will be called against Winnipeg. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. There's Larocque in goal, and on the bench, the backup goaltender, Bob Perrott. My apologies to you people down in Windsor, Ontario. I said last week, Perrott from Windsor, Nova Scotia. My goodness, will you forgive me? There's a shot. Stanowski knocked it down. Another chance in front of the net. Big Savard is there, lost it. Stanowski, a great save. Scramble for it. To the line, McGill took a shot. Right in front, he scored. Perseverance has got to pay off sometimes, and it does right here for Toronto Maple Leafs.
Here's that scramble. The puck is going to come into in front of the net. Staniowski almost got his hand on it. Anderson, Johnny on the spot. But the goal was scored because Toronto didn't give up. They hacked and banged. They kept the puck in. They kept banging at it in front of the net, and finally Anderson put it in. Tough break for Staniowski.
So it's 7-1. The Leafs finally get through. Staniowski and score. Anderson getting the goal. Now Smale was sent flying as he tried to break in, and there will be a Maple Leaf penalty. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Skill of the Maple Leafs is gone.
That's Smale going around McGill, and McGill having to pull him down, or Smale would have walked in all alone on Larocque. This Winnipeg club, they make the opposition grab a hold of them. Here's that goal again. There's the shot kept in by the Maple Leaf defenseman, and Anderson not being taken in front of the few times that the Jet defensemen have left a Toronto Maple Leaf alone in front of the net.
Babbitt's shot was stopped. Johansson knocked it down the ice. His team shorthanded. Janowski left it there. Winnipeg starting away. Christian's pass. Now to Howardchuk. And offside to DuPont. So they'll bring it back to a spot just inside the Winnipeg line. Look at that final score. And Paymont had a hat trick in that game for Quebec and 2 assists. Big night for Wolf Paymont.
9 goals on Tony Esposito if he was in the net. Not a goal.
Horn shoots it in for Toronto. 7-1 here with 1:30 left in the Toronto penalty, and Winnipeg moving. Coming in. The pass by Howardchuk, harmlessly in front of Larocque. Nobody could get in quickly enough, and Jim Corn again will clear it to center. Decides to lug it in. Korn being covered by Christian. Coming back is Dupont to help. Korn still looking for it. Back of the net, he's bumped a bit. Carries on into the corner. Now Harris gets a pass to Gavin. Gavin can't shoot it. He wanted to. Now he brings it back to center and gives it to Korn, who dropped it in to Johansson. 55 seconds left in the McGill penalty. The Leafs shoot it down the ice. 7-1. Winnipeg leading. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. That's Babbage. Babbage coming up over the line. The pass to Howardchuk. In front it goes. Howardchuk now has it behind the net. In the corner, Howardchuk takes his time. Good look around. He has Levy at the point. There it is. He missed it. And they have to hustle back on side. Howardchuk gives it to Levy again. Levy bringing it up over the line. Cutting in front, the backhand shot. Rebound. Dupont let it go. That was blocked by Larocque. Leafs trying to clear it. It went high over the glass into the crowd. Proposed reforms to the competition laws and what it could mean to the consumer tomorrow night on Marketplace at 10:30 in Newfoundland.
3 goals by Paymont, 1 by Boschman. I think the Leafs maybe could have used those 4 goals tonight. Bob, what do you think?
Come in handy, wouldn't they? They have but one. Stanowski has been really steady tonight, but the Leafs just blitzed him on that play when Anderson finally knocked it in.
Yet to score a shutout in his NHL.
Now to center for Thomas Steen. Up over the line, the shot at the goalpost. 4 times tonight. Shot on the post. To center ice, Terlego. Coming in. Terlego, some skating room. Around Waters, centered it. Stanowski juggled it away. Terlego again, and a nice glove save this time by Stanowski. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Time is running.
13 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Winnipeg Jets 7, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. And the Jets just coasting now in this third period. Savard on the boards to center Lindstrom. Pass on the left side. Lukowicz going in. Stops in the corner. Comes back out with it. Rolled a pass in the middle. Lukowicz went after it the other way. McGill tied him up. Little pushing and shoving, and Martin for Toronto will move it out of the zone to center. Waters brings it back in for Winnipeg. Waters shoots. Rebound. And Larocque covered up again. Another chance in front of the net. Lukowicz. And that's stopped by Larocque. Waters in the corner. Back of the net is Steen. He knocked it loose. Martin coming back to help for Toronto. Martin played it behind the goal, and Korn has it. On the boards, Preacher tipped it to the line, not out. Lukowicz working hard all night for Winnipeg on that left side with Steen and Lindstrom. Aubin fanned on it. And Savard takes it inside his own line. Steps away from Preacher to center ice. Coming in is Lindstrom, a great move. Lindstrom breaks for the net. In around the goal he goes. Lindstrom still in control to Smale in the corner. Smale tried to set it up to Savard in front of the goal, but Korn has it. Korn's pass up over center. Podubny breaking in, and he was stopped by Stanowski. Great burst of speed by Walt Podubny, but Stanowski stopped him. Just past the 8-minute mark as Gavin comes in again. Gavin around the defense, springs, centered it. Stanowski down, Podubny and Preacher right in on top of the netminder. Leafs coming close, but it's Winnipeg leading this attack. Here's Christian blasting one. That hit the side of the net, and Gavin takes it. Ripped the pass along the boards. At center, Benning trying to go in, and Babbage has it now for Winnipeg. Tipped out over the line. The Leafs in possession again. That's Preacher. He made a move at the line, and the Leafs are offside. With a score, Winnipeg 7, Toronto 1. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Varathane.
With Bobby Hull in the gondola at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Winnipeg with a 6-goal lead. No doubt they're looking at the scoreboard. St. Louis trailing Minnesota 1-0. early in that game. So Winnipeg, Bobby, would get an opportunity to gain another 2 points on St. Louis in second spot in this Norris division.
The way they're playing, all they have to do is keep playing this way until the end of the season. I don't think they have to worry about St. Louis.
There's Howard Chuck again getting it back. A low shot by McLean was just off the mark. Saginaw comes to center ice for Toronto, going in on Babbage. And it's knocked off Saginaw's stick. He has it again. Back near the line it comes. And now Korn closing in. Put the shot on Stanowski. Coming out to cut the angle, made the save. Korn again. Can't shoot it. There's Howard Chuck playing it up to center ice again. It just went by Hopkins. Podubny comes back in for Toronto. Trying to go in. Howard Chuck took it from him. Gerlego couldn't stop it. Now Saginaw. He got away from Howard Chuck. There's Benning centering it. And covering up was Hopkins, and he cleared it. Howard Chuck at center coming in with McLean. Howard Chuck faked the pass, tried to go in. Anderson fell down. McLean went after it, centered it. It hit a skate and bounced back to center ice. And now they've hit the halfway mark of the period as 5 goes in. Fired, it's good! With 5. Bullet shot. Number 44 on the season for 5.
There's another mistake by a Winnipeg Jet defenseman. Losing the puck at center ice is Spring. I've right there picked it up, blitzed in on the right side, and fired a hard slap shot past Staniowski. I don't care, that's Staniowski. Here it is again. Here's the play that cost them the goal. That shot, that hard slap shot. Staniowski out to cut the angle down. Staniowski's been sharp though all night with that stick, with a glove, with his blocker, with those pads.
10:03 the time of that goal by Vibe. Look out, bad hop off the boards. Stanowski was nearly caught, going the other way. Winnipeg get it out. Trimper going in. And a quick save by Bunny Larocque. Gerlego breaks up for Toronto. Catching up is Benning. There's Benning cutting in. Benning dropped it over in front and went through the crease. And the Jets, they're skating hard both ways now. Trimper's pass. DuPont nearly broken behind the defense. Savard to Waters. Jets circling, coming back in. A good play for DuPont. And Larocque stopped that. Knocked away to Martin. 3 leads break out of the zone. Martin coming in with 5. But they're changing. Martin is alone on this play now. He's in there with 5 Jets. Now it's cleared in on the net. Harris nearly had a shot at it. Martin was going in. He thought he had everybody with him. They were going to the bench on a change. Preacher going in now. Preacher circles the net for Toronto. Takes a look from the corner, centered it. Here's a chance for McGill. Shoots, and that's blocked. Harris tried to knock it back in front. We've got good action now. 7-2 Winnipeg. You'd never say it the way the Leafs are battling now with only 8:31 left in the game. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Moving to Calgary.
We need to... Dale Howard-Chuck with 2 goals and 2 assists on the night. And his line mates, McLean, 2 goals, 1 assist, and Hopkins has 2 assists. Not bad. 7-2 Winnipeg. Here's Benning closing in. And he hit the side of the net with that shot. Coming back out, Levy. Got a long shot in wide of the goal. Lukowicz dumped it behind the net. They center it. And Lindstrom came close. Now Steen from the corner. Gets it back to Lindstrom. The Rock stopped that. Lindstrom again left it there. Good playmaking by Winnipeg now. Lukowicz in front of Lindstrom. A high shot. The Rock looking shell-shocked as the Jets pass it around in front of him. Really keeping pressure on Toronto. There's Lukowicz again against Johansson. He lost his stick and the Leafs come up with it. There's Preacher playing it off the boards on the right side. Martin tipped it back. Benning comes to center ice. Benning trying to flip it in, he did. And Babbage has it for Winnipeg, bumped by Preacher. He was in forechecking, threw the body right into him. Here's Deblois. A pass to Lukowicz. Deblois cutting for the net. The shot kicked out by Larocque. And the Leafs come out again. Podubny going in, winding up. High rising bullet. That was off the goal. Christian's pass to Deblois. Deblois shooting one. Larocque stopped that one. Stick save. McGill racing back. They're going all out both ways. Podubny, another chance. But offside at the Winnipeg line. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Panasonic Color.
Salming has not put in an appearance in this third period. We are now endeavoring to find out the reason for that. 6:45 left in the game. Winnipeg 7 and Toronto 2. Korn played it ahead. Podubny got it as far as center ice. The Jets shoot it back in. And the Maple Leafs just elect to play it out on the left side. Podubny rolled it to center. Here comes Gavin. On the other wing is Saginaw. He was stopped. And the Jets will move it out. That was Savard dumping it ahead. Christian brings it in. Christian breaks for the net. Right in. He took the shot with Larocque down. He reached up to grab it. And a good save by Larocque.
I think that was a little more than almost self-protection. He just threw the glove up while I was lying prone on the ice. Christian went across in front of him, lost the puck momentarily, retrieved it halfway over to the corner and spun around and fired a slap shot. Larocque, lying on his stomach, reached up with his glove, I think mainly to protect himself.
The Winnipeg Jets led 2-0 at the end of the first period. Scored 4 more times in the second. The Leafs got their 2 goals here in the third, and Winnipeg have added 1. 7-2. Coming in is 5, who has scored 1 goal for Toronto. But Howardchuk, a star in this hockey game for the Winnipeg Jets, coming back in. Howardchuk tried to fake Melrose, could not. Kept in over there by Hopkins. His pass is stopped. Coming out Melrose. Pass to Derlego. Derlego rolled it to 5, trying to set him up now. Derlego gets in front and was covered. Now Benning keeps it in front of the net. Anderson's shot was blocked. And Hopkins brings it back out for Winnipeg. From center, he decides to shoot it in. And the Jets change as the play goes into the Maple Leaf zone. Benning's pass to Anderson, back to him. Benning to center. Tries to get away from Lundholm and does. 5:15 left in the game. Here's Lindstrom coming out. Bumped by Martin. Martin sends it back into the Winnipeg zone. And Levy is back there for Winnipeg. Aubin chased him behind the net. He easily pulled away from the Leaf forward. Down on the left side. Winnipeg closing it again. McGill made a good play on Lundholm. Lundholm gets it again, though. Centered it. Steen slapped at it. Did get a good shot away. And Korn feeds it to Freacher. Down to Martin. Coming in with Aubin. Martin's pass to Freacher. Right in front of the net. And that doesn't pay off. Winnipeg getting back again. 4:30 left in the game. Coming back out, Lundholm, breaking down. He's around, Korn going in. Korn caught up to him, just in time. Now Terry Martin takes a look ahead for Freacher. Freacher brought it in over the line, and then Babbage just calmly grabbed it, and he waits. The Jets circle, and Babbage played it off the boards to center. Aubin will shoot it back in for Toronto with 4 minutes remaining in the hockey game. The Winnipeg Jets 7, Toronto Maple Leafs 2. Now Babbage. Long pass ahead. Dupont flipped it by Deblois at center ice, and Benning takes over for Toronto. To Saginaw, he didn't see it, and Dupont has it. Back it comes to Babbage. Babbage on the other side. It's played ahead. Winnipeg just organizing as they bring it into Howardchuk. Howardchuk along the boards, left it for Dupont. He tried to get it back, did to Babbage. To Howardchuk, right in, scores! Don't give him any chances that close. Good play by Babbage, and Howardchuk makes it 8-2.
That was that old give and go. Howardchuk to Babbage, here it is. Watch Howardchuk break away from the 2 players on the boards. Here he comes out of the corner, makes Larocque make his move, split the legs, and he fired it right between. Here we are again. Here's Babbage. Here comes Howardchuk out of the corner, out of the miss, out of the maze, and through the legs.
Look at that beautiful move.
Isn't that something? Watch Howardchuk push the puck across the goal towards Bunny Larocque's right. As soon as Larocque split his legs to try to cover, fired it calmly between his legs.
16:34, the time of that goal. Number 3 on the night for Howardchuk. To go with his 2 assists. Here he comes again, trying to break in. He will not quit. 18 years old, Dale Howardchuk of the Winnipeg Jets. Janowski out of the net, tipped it away. Now McLean trying to dig it out for Winnipeg. Gavin giving him a bit of trouble, and they get a whistle. With a score, Winnipeg 8, Toronto 2. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Now, you can rent any size gasoline-powered Ryder truck locally for one low daily rate. Want a nice little truck? $34.95 a day plus the variable kilometer charge. How about a little bigger? Same rate. Want one way out to here? Still $34.95 a day. When Ryder rents trucks at this price, we almost hate to let them go. Ryder, $34.95 a day for the best truck money can rent.
You see 2:56 remaining in this hockey game. The Winnipeg Jets, 2-0 lead at the end of the first period. Never looked back. They're leading 8-2 now. Waters for Winnipeg trying to kick it out. 5 nearly got loose, but the Jets bring it to center ice. Smale driving in, took a shot, and Larocque juggled it and held on. And there'll be a face-off in the leave zone. What do you suppose, Bobby? Doug McKay, the assistant coach of the other side there of Mike Nicoluk, what might they be thinking at this moment?
Well, it'll be pretty tough to be thinking about anything but how they're going to improve this hockey club over the summer. I think they've got to be thinking that. They're talking about their youth movement. I just hope they can draft well and get some players that will complement the young players they already have, and have a little better effort another year.
There's Smale for Winnipeg. Got it in front. And the quick shot by Lindstrom nearly got through. Anderson for Toronto coming out. He's got a goal tonight for the Leafs. 5, the other goal scorer for Toronto. Waters didn't wait for his mates to come back out. That's an intentional offside. And they'll bring it back inside the Winnipeg line.
I haven't seen Willie Lindstrom play any better than he has this season. He and Britt expecting their first little bundle of joy in a few weeks.
How far, Bobby, can Winnipeg go in the playoffs this year? Well, that's a pointed question, I know, but how do you feel?
I was thinking about that here a little while ago, and if they play the way they're playing now, they could be a surprise hockey club during the playoff.
Long shot down the ice for Larocque, who clears it up on the boards on the right side. Winnipeg pour back in. There's a chance in front. They score! That quick shot by Lukowicz. It seemed to deflect off something as it got near Larocque.
Well, that was the reason it went in. It was a great pass from Lundholm to Lukowicz, but Morris got it away real quick. Watch how quickly he gets the puck away, and that's why it went in. Gets it on his stick, lets it go. It did hit the Toronto defenseman's skate. Watch it here. It'll hit the skate there and deflected to Bunny Larocque's right. That's why it went in, but Lukowicz scored the goal because he got it quick, got it away quick, and on the net.
The 18-minute mark, number 9 for Winnipeg. Levy from Babbage. From center ice, he shoots it in. Lukowicz again. Poked it behind the net. It's centered right in front of the net. Another goal. Thomas Steen made that one look easy as Larocque came over to cover on the post. Put along the ice. Number 10.
It was Lundholm looking. Watch him here as he comes from behind the net. Pokes the puck free, of course, but the play was made from behind the net. out in front. It was an alert pass. He didn't just fire it. He turned, he looked for his teammate, out to Steen, and he very coolly took it on his backhand, slid it along the ice.
Lundholm and Lukowicz got assists on that goal by Thomas Steen. 18-19, it's 10-2. McGill couldn't stop it. Now he has it in the corner, but Babbage has parked up the line, let it go, and Larocque tipped it away with his stick. Here's Martin coming out with 1:15 left in the game. Martin went in over the line, got away from that check thrown by Tripper into the corner. Levy tried to move it. And the Winnipeg Jets get it into the center ice area. Tripper fell on it and the play is called. Let's go down to Brian McFarland.
They've got a much closer game going in Edmonton, and Mark Messier has scored in the third period now to put the Oilers ahead right from the face-off. He gets the puck, drills it home. Watch it now, and this is the third goal for the Oilers. The Canucks have two. That's the score, and we'll join that game right after this one at Maple Leaf Gardens. Now let's go back to the gondola.
Okay, Brian, so we'll look forward to that action in Edmonton in just 55 seconds or so from now. That's the time remaining in this game. Winnipeg running away with the Maple Leafs tonight 10-2 as Benning comes in. Benning on the left side, a weak shot. Stanowski knocked it away with a stick. Saganuk tried to get it off the boards. It's grabbed. Now it's loose again. Saganuk is covered. Thought I saw glove hand come down on it, but the play is allowed to continue with 30 seconds left. Johansson played it up to Gavin. He starts away with Saganuk and Podubny. He can't reach it. Stanowski out of the net, went behind the goal with it. 15 seconds remaining. Long pass ahead. Knocked down up the line by Saganuk. Couldn't get a shot away. 8 seconds left as Winnipeg have themselves a 10-2 victory tonight. They get it out to center ice. Bell goes, and the game is in the books. The Winnipeg Jets, 2-0 at the end of the first, 6-0 at the end of the second, 10-2. The final score here tonight over the Toronto Maple Leafs. And in just a moment, our Molson Cup 3-star selection. Okay, team. Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Cup 3-star selections. The first star, Dale Howardchuk. The second star, Paul McLean. And the third star, Willie Lindstrom.
We have further word from Edmonton, and Wayne Gretzky has set up a power play goal by Lowe. We'll take a look at that. This happened moments ago. 2 quick power play goals by the Oilers have put them in front 4-2. There's still plenty of time remaining out there. Gretzky got the assist on the goal, and as we said a moment ago, 4-2. Let's pick up the action now in Edmonton, or will in a moment or two. It's 4-2. The Vancouver Canucks were tied for a good part of that hockey game, but the Oilers have exploded quickly with 2 power play scores. Let's go there now for the play-by-play.
Here at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton with 9:25 left in the game, the Oilers lead Vancouver Canucks 4-2. I'm Jim Robson with Gary Dornhofer, and now we welcome the audience of the Maple Leaf Winnipeg Jet game. And here, Gary Dornhofer, the story has been the power play, one way or the other.
As it ever, and we're going to get a penalty as Kurt Fraser is heading for that penalty box. You know, we've missed a few penalties tonight, Jim. We didn't see that one at all. So perhaps something was said from the Vancouver bench. Okay, that is confirmed. It is a bench minor, so Kurt Fraser will serve it.
Vancouver's had 44 minutes in penalties tonight. Edmonton has had 52 minutes. That includes a match penalty to Dave Semenko for headbutting Tiger Williams in a fight. Semenko fought Ron DeLorme in the first period, Dave Williams in the second period. So Semenko's had an active night. Wayne Gretzky, well, he's had 2 assists. Stan Smeal with the puck. Vancouver shorthanded. The Edmonton power play has collected 3 times in this game. As Hogarth, the referee, got bumped in that collision. Lars Lindgren chasing the puck as Hines scoops it ahead for McCarthy. Now the Oilers will set up this power play. That's Siltanen with the puck. Number 9 is Anderson. Number 22 is Huddy. Wayne Gretzky, I won't have to tell you his number. Now Yari Curry, the 5th man on the power play, but the play goes offside.
Well, it's been very frustrating for the Vancouver Canucks, especially on the power play, as Jim had mentioned. 15 minutes in power play advantage, and actually during that period of time, the Oilers had some excellent scoring chances, and that has been the difference of the game. It was tied 2-2 going to that third period, and both of the goals by the Oilers have been by the power play.
There's Roger Nielsen, assistant coach of the Vancouver Canucks. Thomas Gradin, stick handling through the defense, is taken off the puck by Siltanen as Grant Fuhrer controls the puck, and he's made some outstanding saves tonight. Vancouver really kept a blanket on the Oilers in the early stages of this game. Outshot them 14-5 in the first period, 14-7 in the second. But now the Edmonton power play has opened things up, and they're able to start wheeling out there. They've been held well in check through the first 40 minutes. Huddy and McCarthy do some high sticking as Gradin shovels the puck out. Lindgren goes after the rolling puck. Lindgren in on Siltanen. Drop past the Smeal, lost possession. Lindgren and Lupul have scored the Vancouver goal. Laurie Boschman, who's seen very limited ice time tonight, scored the first Edmonton goal. Then Risto Siltanen, Mark Messier, and Kevin Lowe scoring in the power play. Doug Hallward to Harold Snepps. 32 seconds left in the Vancouver team penalty being served by Fraser. Number 8 is Jim Nill. Here in Edmonton, there's the score, 4-2 Oilers with 7:39 left in the hockey game, and now we'll add another welcome, this time to the viewers of the Calgary-Buffalo hockey game played tonight at the Corral, and there's the final from Maple Leaf Gardens. Many of you saw that one, and Tom Watt, back in his hometown, would be smiling about that one. Denny Heron, the shutout, as the Canadians keep rolling right along. The Flames with a 4-point grip on second place in the Smythe Division. It might be 6 points after tonight, that victory over Buffalo. Coming into this game, Edmonton had 4 consecutive losses, were winless in 5. Vancouver had 5 consecutive losses, winless in 6. 4-2 Oilers lead. Now a penalty to Vancouver, a team penalty served by Fraser is over. And the puck had been knocked out of the air with a high stick, so referee Ron Hogarth stops the play. Gary Dornhofer, the Oilers seem to have control now after being held into wraps a lot of the way.
Well, it's amazing. You know, last night against the Buffalo Sabres, a game they should have won. Donnie Edwards was the star of that game, and he stopped a lot of good scoring opportunities. Tonight in a game that Vancouver probably should have won, it's just been the opposite. How do you figure this out? I guess during the course of a year, it certainly evens itself out. But for 2 periods, Vancouver looked awfully tough.
Mark Messier, Snepps having trouble tying him up. Took him to the boards. Thought there might have been some holding, according to the grandstand referees. Snepps intercepts. 6:57 left. Looked like a 2-line pass, and it is offside. The young Mark Crawford.
I'm impressed with Snepps. He really plays the game out there, plays it hard, has the strength to certainly move people around in the corners, and he wasn't welcomed earlier in the game as he knocked down Gretzky at a collision.
The crowd here reacting, they're booing because Tiger Williams has just come out of the penalty box after serving 17 minutes in a scrap with Dave Semenko. Semenko's out of the game as he had a match penalty in the scrap with Williams, who's checking to see if everything's intact. Semenko attempted to headbutt Williams during their fight, so was thrown out of the game. Vancouver's had 44 penalty minutes now, and Edmonton has had 52. Those are unofficial totals if you tally up when the game's going on. But the difference has been the power play. The Oilers are 3 for 6, and the Canucks are 0 for 6. So the score, Vancouver trailing the Edmonton Oilers now. The Oilers 4, the Canucks 2. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Right now.
You know, Dale Hawerchuk was a big story at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto tonight. 3 goals and 3 assists. Now, you wonder perhaps about the rookie record. Well, Peter Stastny won the award last year with 109 points over 80 games, and I would think Hawerchuk has a fair shot of that. He has several games left to play, 11, I believe, and with 6 points tonight, that puts him up there to 91 points for the year, a strong candidate for the Calder Trophy. That's Dale Hawerchuk of the Jets. 10-2, the Jets over the Leafs tonight. Now let's get back to the action in Edmonton.
Well, the play had just started, and right from the face-off, Crawford was spilled by Risto Siltanen, and he will draw a penalty for tripping. Now, I'm sure the Canucks would like to decline the penalty, gentlemen. I can't believe it. The opportunities and nothing to show for it. There you see Crawford doing that spin around, and they will try their 7th time via the power play to try to capitalize.
Their power play's been a problem for them all year. It's 19th in the league in power play percentage. Oilers' penalty killing is 5th best in the league, and they're a threat to score while shorthanded. See what I mean? Pat Hughes lost control of the puck, and Heinz has to cover it up to stop the play.
One thing about the Oilers, they never hesitate whenever the opportunity presents itself. Why not go? See, most players figure that when a team gets the puck, they're going to ice it, just dump it down, and then go in there and do some checking or come back with the wings. This is the case for the Oilers. They go at every opportunity and try to score goals, and they have been successful on numerous occasions. Especially Gretzky. He'll hang, in fact, outside the blue line, actually sometimes putting his team two-man short, trying for that fast break.
The score is 4-2 for Edmonton. It was 1-1 at the end of the first period, 2-2 at the end of the second. Each team took a turn at taking the lead, and now power play goals by Messier and Lowe in the third period have the Oilers in front by 2. Wayne Gretzky has 2 assists, but I would say tonight he's played much less than he usually does. A lot of penalties in this game tonight. Vancouver's setting up on their power play. 30 seconds gone. In the penalty to Siltanen, who's been a stand-up for the Oilers tonight. Neal from back of the net. Watched by Hunter and LaRiviere. The pass to the point. McCarthy shot. Fewer blocks it, scrambles back in. Hughes goes to the puck. Fraser tangled up with Huddy down in the ice, and the puck comes out. Boschman, Siltanen, Messier, and Lowe have scored for Edmonton. The last 3 goals on power plays. Lars Lindgren and Gary Lupul have scored for Vancouver. Ivan Boldurev. Here's a shot by Curry, kicked out by Fuhrer. Tony Curry, one of the new Canucks, number 17, is on left wing on this power play, which has 47 seconds left to try and cash in.
Well, Jim, when the Canucks have had that opportunity to score, that kid back there, Grant Fuhrer, has come up with some excellent saves. He gave a demonstration of that pad save there. Keep that puck out of the net.
Curry with Williams and Boldurev. At the point, number 2 is Doug Hallward. Ivan Boldurev is number 9, controlling the puck. Shot. Fuhrer stopped it on the short side. There's a penalty coming up. Williams and Lowe. It's a penalty to Edmonton, obviously. A delayed penalty. A shot. They score! Tony Curry from the slot has scored for Vancouver with a delayed penalty coming up to Edmonton, and it's now 4-3 with 4:48 left.
Well, the Canucks finally did it. They scored on the power play. Some good work as they throw that puck around. Let's watch Curry get himself into position in the slot while you see the jam up in front of that net. Grant Fuhrer had no chance making the save unless it would have hit him, but he didn't see that puck at all as it went by him, so the Canucks narrow that gap, and still plenty of time to try for that tie. Williams doing an excellent job screening along with LaRiviere, trying to move him out of there, unsuccessful.
That is the 20th goal of the year for Tony Curry. Of course, 18 of them scored with the St. Louis Blues. 15-12, the time of the goal. Boldurev and Hallward get assists on the goal. Edmonton leads 4-3. Crowd reacting to Williams, checking Anderson as in come the Oilers. Lee Fogelin, but the play is outside as he took Curry's pass. 4:27 remaining. There's the Tiger, who hasn't played a lot tonight because he's been in the penalty box a lot of the time, and Lee Fogelin is taking him away from that discussion with Kevin Lowe. Of course, Semenko's not around anymore.
No,
so
he's
Tiger
not.
will try somebody else.
Tiger, he's had the best seat in the house. You get a good view from that penalty box area, but he was very instrumental in that goal by doing that job of screening.
Well, here in Edmonton, it's been a beautiful day. It's been sunny and +3, melting some of that snow that fell in the storm here on Thursday. Tonight, it's expected to be partly cloudy and maybe drop to -10 Celsius. The score, 4-3 Edmonton, play in the Vancouver zone as Snaps passes to Hallward. 4:20 left in the game now. Puck brought in by Lupul, checked by Kevin Lowe, who broke up the play. Anderson and McDonald battling for the puck, and it's covered up by the Oiler bench. Not dressed for Edmonton tonight are Ralston and Callaghan, healthy but scratched as you look at Gary Lupul. And the Canucks have a string of players out of the lineup, mostly with injuries. Lance, Bubla, Campbell, Elderbrink, Miner, Rhoda, and Halinka, all injured. Moline is back in Sweden due to illness in the family, and Joe McDonnell was scratched after the warm-up.
Jim, how about some of those injured players? They expected to be back before playoff time?
Well, Darcy Rhoda is expected to be the first one back, left winger, and Colin Campbell, they hope, will be back. And Ivan Halinka should be back. But players like Lance and Bubla and Miner and Elderbrink are out for the season. 3:56 left in this game as the Canucks ice the puck. Risto Siltanen back after it, and the play stops and the pace is slowed down again. That's what Vancouver wants.
Well, they're going to have to apply some pressure now. They're 1 goal behind, and by icing it and dumping it out, that isn't going to help their cause any. So you know how they bottled up the Edmonton Oilers in that first period. It was because of that tenacious checking that they implored, and there were a lot of giveaways by the Oilers because of that.
I don't think I've seen a game that Edmonton's played this season in which Wayne Gretzky's played as little as he's played tonight.
Well, there is some concern about that, Jim. What's more important, all the points and goals that Gretzky is going to get, or let's have Gretzky, well, he's healthy, but let's have him ready to play so he's not tired out there, because you know that he's going to play a lot in the playoffs.
He has taken his regular shift tonight. He's done some penalty killing, but not very much, and he's been on the power play, which of course has produced his 2 assists. He's effective when he is on the ice, but hasn't played as much tonight as he usually does.
Well, it's interesting. His biorhythms say that he will get 1 goal and 2 assists. He has 2 assists, so expect a goal anytime.
And we'll watch for it. He has 189 points. This is his 72nd game. His goal total is sitting at 82. Now 3:27 left. Edmonton 4, Vancouver 3 as McCarthy turned away from the check. Play was broken up, and Pat Hughes comes out with the puck, missing a check from Fraser. The pass to Hunter. Lost control of the puck when checked by McCarthy. Neal banks it off the boards. Gradines coming out. Lost the puck. Played back to Kevin Lowe. Now to Gary Unger, who's seen limited ice time tonight. On the boards for Fogelin. Lost it to Bolderov, who dumps it out. 3 minutes left. Oilers opened the scoring in this game, but we're behind at 2-1 at one stage. Now they're up 4-2. Hallward with the puck. Try to get it to Bolderov. Number 17 is Tony Curry. Last possession, Fogelin gets possession. Scoops it high and out. Neil Bellin, rookie defenseman, is number 15. Deflects off of Nil. A shot by Curry, stopped by Fuhrer, had the short side well covered. 2.5 minutes left. Curry taken to the ice, or rather Curry took Curry to the ice. How about that? Curry took Curry, but they're spelled differently. Ivan Bolderov with the puck. Some of the magic to Howard, who missed the target. Hill from back of the goal, centering it and tipped away. Bolderov goes to the puck and it slides out. 2 minutes left. Neil Bellin. Pass intercepted by Glenn Anderson. The former Canadian Olympian with good speed. A drop pass to Curry. To Siltanen. Bolderov checking him. Bellin banked the puck on the boards. Huddy from the left point. Shot partially blocked by McDonald. Anderson from the corner. Gretzky's in front. Hook. Penalty to Bolderov for hooking Wayne Gretzky. And with 1:40 left, Edmonton have a 1-goal lead and will have the man advantage. Well, there goes Ivan Bolderov, and here's why. He's heading for the penalty box. Tiger Williams is arguing aggressively with referee Ron Hogarth, and the Tiger may wind up with something here as you see them talking it over. Hooking is the infraction on Bolderov. And there's Harry Neal at the Vancouver bench. B.J. McDonald, the former Oiler. 18:20 is the time of Bolderov's penalty. He very rarely gets penalties, but the Canucks have now picked up 46 minutes tonight. And the Oilers get their 7th power play opportunity, and they've cashed in 3 times. And the Tiger just didn't agree with the referee's call. He's disagreed with a few over the years. Now we'll see Gretzky out there as I mentioned earlier, hasn't played as much as usual, but he's out on this power play. Number 17, Curry, is on his left. Anderson is number 9 on the right side as Siltanen, number 8, goes to the puck, and number 22, Charlie Huddy, takes the pass. Canuck penalty killers. Smeal is 12. Number 23 is Gradine. 27, Sneps. 13, Lindgren on defense. Rick Hines played the puck to the corner. Lars Lindgren has played a strong game for Vancouver. Put it off the board. Stan Smeal gets it out. 1:14 left in the game. Edmonton 4, Vancouver 3. The Canucks are not too much of a threat while shorthanded, but Gradine has scored 3 shorthanded goals this year. That's him in the corner battling for the puck, but here come 4 Oilers. They're 4 on 2. Siltanen. Gretzky posting in the slot. Terry shoots. Good skate save by Hines. We're in the last minute of the game. Gretzky from the corner. Gretzky's magic. They score! Yari Curry from Wayne Gretzky in 5-3. Let them roar. Here's why they're cheering in Edmonton. Little move away from Sneps. Yari Curry, all kinds of room and time to pick his spot. Time of the goal is 19:12, and they'll surge for the exits. And again, it's a power play goal. There's the difference tonight. Edmonton have scored 4 times for the opposition shorthanded. The 29th goal of the year for Jari Kurri, a young player from Finland. Gretzky's 3rd assist tonight. And here's the assist. Anderson gets a 2nd assist on the goal. I can see where the Oilers argue every day about who gets to play with Gretzky. We're in the last 38 seconds. Oilers lead by 2 again. It's 5-3. Williams goes to the puck. Tiger Williams from the board. Checked by Kevin Lowe. Puck is dug out. Lupul goes to it, but it's cleared out off the linesman skate. Unger plays it to Hughes. Hughes makes a move. In on goal. Centered it. B.J. McDonald. 16 seconds left. And the Oilers' losing streak is coming to an end. They've lost 4 in a row, have gone 5 without a victory. Vancouver's losing streak continues. They've now lost 6 in a row and have gone 7 without a win. And Vancouver now must go on to Washington, Montreal, and Quebec. Well, the Oilers are playing a string of home games, so Glenn Saylor, come on, Glenn, smile. You got a 2-goal lead. Through that 20-game road trip. They, of course, would like to challenge the Islanders in Montreal for #1 spot overall, but those clubs keep winning. The Canadians did tonight. The Islanders are playing in Los Angeles tonight. Seconds ticking away, and this game is over. But at the end of the game, we have a mix-up between Fogelin and McCarthy. Fogelin throwing punches into Kevin McCarthy. A brawl is on in Edmonton. Everybody's in it. As the bench is cleared, as the game is over. You can't fault the officials for this situation now. The game is over. Lee Fogelin started throwing punches at Kevin McCarthy. And everybody got into the act. Except Dave Semenko. He was thrown out in the 2nd period. But believe me, if he found a way to get out there, he would. Even Ron Lowe, the backup goaltender, is going to take a look. Unger and McDonald doing a little wrestling. It has been a pretty rough game tonight. Vancouver's had 46 minutes. Edmonton 54. Big Harold Sneps involved there. Unofficially, we've had 100 minutes and penalties in the game. They're announcing the shot totals 39-23 in favor of Vancouver. But Grant Fuhrer was outstanding in the nets, especially in the early stages. The Canucks outshot the Oilers 14-5 in the first period, and there's Ole Brasser and Wayne Gretzky.
We'll leave the brawl in Edmonton. We'll leave Wayne Gretzky standing there. He had 3 assists in the hockey game tonight. He's not scored a goal since the last day of February, but he still has 8 games left to play, closing in on 100. He had 3 assists tonight. That gives him 190 as the Oilers defeated Vancouver 5-3 to break a short slump. Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment.
Arm Brewster, you ran up the highest long-distance phone bill in the organization. But, sir, I was just...
Good work, Armbruster. By making more long-distance telephone calls, you set a company sales record. Your traveling expenses are way down.
Yes, sir.
Did you people get the message?
If your company's long-distance calling is increasing, could be your profits are, too. Business long distance, today's way to operate.
Don't let anyone pull your leg. There can only be one king of the hill. Suzuki has won every 125 World Motocross Grand Prix championship there has ever been. And in 1981, who won the U.S. championships in the 125, 250, and Supercross classes? Suzuki. The 82 Suzuki full floaters. Performance, above all.
We have time left to run down all the NHL scores tonight, beginning at Maple Leaf Gardens, where the Winnipeg Jets made it 5 in a row against the Leafs at Maple Leaf Gardens. 10-2 the score tonight. The Leafs have been giving up over 7 goals a game in their last few games. Howard Chuck, the big man, with 3 goals and 3 assists, and he could break the rookie scoring record this year, which stands at 109. He now has 91 points. You just saw the finale of that game in Edmonton. The final there was 5-3, and we'll mention again that Gretzky had the 3 assists and now has 190 points. Boschman got his first goal as an Edmonton Oiler. Siltanen, Messier, Lowe, and Curry got the others for Vancouver: Lindgren, Lupul, and Curry. The Canadians won their 41st game tonight, another shutout. They've lost only once in the last 25. Dennis Herron, the man in goal for Montreal tonight. 5-0 the score over the Hartford Whalers. Uhl, Schutt, Hunter, Acton, and Tremblay scored the Montreal goals. Well, Calgary made it 4 straight victories tonight with a 4-1 victory over the visiting Buffalo Sabres. Lavallee, McDonald with a pair of goals, and Reinhart for the Flames. Howarth scored the lone goal for the Buffalo Sabres. Quebec defeated Chicago 9-3. And listen to this, Wilf Payma had 5 points in that game, 3 goals and 2 assists. New lease on life in Quebec. Marois, Goulet, Pichette, Aubrey, and Cloutier, and Anton Stastny got the other Quebec goals. Smith, Osborne, and Gear. Well, wait a minute. Patterson, Secord, and Wilson scored for Chicago. Boston over Detroit this afternoon, 5-3. Washington has just defeated Philadelphia 6-3. That game just over. Pittsburgh over Colorado 6-2. And the Minnesota North Stars, goals by Cicerelli and Smith, are leading St. Louis 2-1 there in the third period. The Los Angeles Kings leading the Islanders 1-0, goal there by the King Smith. And we look ahead to next week when the Minnesota North Stars play the Montreal Canadiens at the Montreal Canadiens. We'll be there with our cameras. It'll be Toronto at Winnipeg. So long from all of us on the NHL Tonight.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, brewers of Molson Canadian, the great Canadian breakaway. Canadian General Electric.
GE, we bring good things to life.
Canadian Tire, where you'll find a lot more than tires. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line. This program is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the entertainment and enjoyment of the viewing audience. Reproduction by any means, in whole or in part, without the expressed written permission of Hockey Night in Canada, is prohibited.